Here we go, everybody. Winner bracket final time. Team Lauber against Team HasuObs. Meta Madness continued, powered by Hightech, and we are heading straight into our first map of Best of 5 series. Now again, just to reiterate this real quickly, guys, 10 heroes are already globally banned as we're entering map number 1, as we said yesterday. Just to read over those real quickly for everybody that missed it. Deathwing is banned, Zul, Ana, Abatha are banned as well. We have a ban on Johanna, Li Ming, Sergeant Hammer, Rhaegar, ETC, and Greymane. And every single hero that gets played on any of these maps is banned for the entire series, or won't be able to be played again for the entire series. We had fantastic games already, and yesterday in particular. And one of the things that happened yesterday is actually that Team Quacknix got heavily spanked, and therefore Quack has now retired and become a professional commentator and is joining me here today. So how are you doing, Quack?
That is true. Thank you very much for having me. I'm already a licensed caster, and I'm here with Khaldor on the Meta Madness. This is going to be good fun. I'm happy to be part of this series, and I'm already way too tryhard, and Khaldor is like, what the hell is going on? You were memeing 5 seconds ago. But here we are, game has started. First up, Mediv ban. Exciting. Take it away, Khaldor. Holy shit, I'm so good at this.
You're absolutely amazing. I'm actually tempted to let it go through the entire draft solo.
Okay, so Tassadar ban is the response. Very good on Infernal Shrines, especially because we saw it have high priority yesterday, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lauber's team actually played it as well, right? So I think this is a pretty solid ban. I want to see, though, if either of these teams opt into the Maiev or Kerrigan, which has also had pretty high priority lately, and especially with the explosive meta that we have right now, with a lot of triple melee comps. I'm curious to see how those picks are gonna go through the draft. You have to help me a little bit. You cannot just sit and laugh like I'm doing the work for you and you're getting all the subs. Like, hello?
Yeah, it's solid work already. No, but
See,
you're
there
right.
we go.
So Tassadar was actually played quite a bit yesterday on Infernal Shrines. Was oftentimes the only damage dealer. Junkrat pick also quite often either picked early or banned on especially Tomb, which we had a few times as a starting map, and Infernal Shrines. So in both of them, of course, great to attack there from the outside. I mean, just generally speaking, as we're heading into this, now that I have you here, first thing that I actually want to know, what do you think about the new Tassadar rework? So how has it fit into the games that you've played with him? I mean, as you said, we've seen him yesterday. He's been played multiple times. The last patch buffed him a little bit as well, after Blizzard initially wasn't happy with the results that he brought after the rework. But what do you think about the hero right now?
Yeah, so personally, like, I only played him a little bit, and he feels a bit, like, awkward to play, but then again, right, you just have to embrace his new playstyle, which is, like, you're a, like, burst poke mage, and as long as there's not dive threat on you, you have good positioning, you actually do a shit ton of damage. So, like, point control here, stealing skulls, poking in the choke points, it's insanely powerful. So I think, like, in general, on this map, on Tomb, like, you'll see a lot of more Tassadar play, especially when people get a hang of him, and obviously having that force wall just enables you to get pickoffs, set up potential plays, and he just seems fantastic in the hands of a good player, and as long as they can't punish you, right?
Yeah, I mean, so far it looks pretty good. I find myself falling into the trap all the time that I see a Tassadar on the team, and I'm like, oh, they're going double support, like, who's the hyper carry? And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. So
see, I just want to point out, right, I was talking about before the game even starts, or like before the drafts were laid out, I was very interested to see how the Maiev and the Kerrigan pick were gonna plan out and go through this draft. And as we can see already, both of them have been banned. So I'm no longer super scared and looking for triple melee comps from either team. But we have Tyrell on the side of Team Lauber, so obviously it's still an option. But with both those gone, triple melee comps aren't as strong on Infernal Shrines anymore.
Yeah, it was actually interesting yesterday in particular to see how heavily melee heroes and tanks were focused, especially towards the later games. Can really get away with a lot of this. I mean, we've seen Blaze a lot in the main tank role, Imperius several times as a main tank. Not only because they offer a lot and can be played in that position right now too, but because people started to deviate a little bit away from the normal tanks and they get banned out so quickly. The Sonya pick, on the other hand, comes in, so Blade on Blaze with Sonya. Banana H still waiting for his hero here. Reyna for Hasu, so we already get the Exterminator play. Sylvana's pretty strong with this setup now too. But generally speaking, for first draft, I gotta say, the ban's very heavily focused on melee. So teams are really adjusting quickly at all of the results and all the things that have come in yesterday. And the ban meta that kind of emerged in the tournament a bit.
For sure. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we get picked up here. I was gonna say, I think we need a little bit more CC on the side of Team Lauber to actually deal with the Sonya, because Tyrell doesn't actually provide any pressure on Sonya, and Sonya with a good healer on Infernal Shrines, like even if you have a lot of damage into her, if you don't have any CC, she kind of gets to do whatever she wants and is kind of like unkillable, right?
Yeah.
So I like the pickup here with the Vala and Rexar, because Rexar obviously provides a stun and he's very safe on the side lane. And Vala also adds an additional stun and will also be like that main damage dealer, and that is really enabled by Tyrell Malfurion. It's kind of the dream trio, and then you also have Junkrat, which you sack on the side to catch all the soak and so on. So overall, like really solid comp from them, but on the other hand, we have a like really strong Infernal comp.
Yeah, Alexstrasza in particular is going to be great here too, and teams really adjusted to that a bit. But with that, we're going to jump into game number 1, Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen. Team Hasu against Team Lauber at Meta Madness. Alright everybody, game number 1 popping up. Team Lauber against Team HasuObs, the best of 5 series here in the winner bracket starting up. Lauber on the left side on Tyrael. We have Svamgrotta on Rexar, Death at Malfurion, Tai on Vala, Jurutsu on Junkrat, HasuObs on the other hand for the red team on Reyna, Wit on Blaze, Banana H on Alexstrasza, fitting the map perfectly here. We get Blade on Sonya, and Skog is playing Sylvanas in game number 1. And we actually see an arrow build over a multi-shield build for the map now. What do you actually think about that playstyle? The multi-shot build is actually really strong when we're talking about just getting some stacks on the shrine and adding some hero damage to this as well. And an arrow build, of course, helps you a bit more with the mercenaries and also taking the Punisher down after it has been claimed by the opponent. But we don't really see it all that often anymore on Infernal. What do you think about the build adjustments here?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, like, I'm not a big fan of it, like, on maps where your wave clear is really important, and especially when you kind of have the hyper carry role, because on Infernal Shrines, like, when you throw out your Qs, like, there's the Shrine minions in the way and so on, but something that you mentioned that is really strong is that if you lose the objective, you will be able to depush it a lot faster, and by doing that, even if you lose the objective, you can always, like, kill it fast and maybe not lose so much, right? So this way we can scale harder, and maybe that's what they're looking for here a bit more, to try to go to 20.
Yeah. Yeah, what also surprised me a bit, to be honest, is that we didn't see Leo on this map. You know, even outside of Meta Madness, we oftentimes see Leo even banned here, but of course, as they opted on the red team side to go into Sonya, you mentioned it during the draft, you really need to have a few more stuns to control Sonya. If you don't have any and Leo gets picked, then you run into trouble. But it's kind of weird a bit to see a game on Infernal Shrines where Leo hasn't played a role neither in the draft nor in the ban.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I was thinking about the Leo pick, like that should be the, like, obvious pick for them in the last 2 picks, but then again, right, as I mentioned with the Sonya, if you were to pick the Leo here, sure, it's amazing on the map, but Sonya has a free game. Post 10, Leori can't do anything to her, and they have no CC, no way to control the Sonya, so like, I like the adaptation here, and obviously, like, Leoric is so strong in general right now, so we will probably see him in a different game, like Towers of Doom is insane as well, right?
Yeah.
So
what do you actually think of the tower changes? I mean, we've been talking a lot about them on stream, of course. It just really, generally speaking, I like that Blizzard has done something to prolong games on an average level a little bit. I feel in HGC times we gave them feedback so often that an increase in average game length by a few minutes, 2 or 3, would actually help the competitive scene a lot too. I would have probably gone about it a different way than they did, but at the end of the day, what they did has pretty much the same result. But it feels a bit that on certain maps, the objective and even a push with the boss is not quite as impactful as it should be, because it's so easy to defend now as a team when you stack up with like 5. So where do you come down on those changes? Do you agree with that? I mean, do you have a different opinion? Or?
No, but it's literally what you said though, right? Like, this literally just prolongs like pretty much every game, and you can draft differently because of how easy it is to get to late game now. Just because you can't get the same value out of any objective, right? Because before, if you get the objective, you're pushing 4 versus 4. The moment the objective tanked, you want to walk up with your bodies and try to trade into the enemy team to push them back while they are depushing. And this enabled you to like get a lot of value from each objective. But now, since you can't do that anymore, you barely get value from most early game objectives, and every game just goes later. So it's just something you have to adapt to, right? I'm not sure if I like it or dislike it, but it's just new to Heroes of the Storm, right? So.
Now over here for the fight for the first one, we get actually really early Dragon Queen on HasuObs' side. Well, they had 20 stacks already. That's usually the time when you pop it, to be fair. So they were able to get some early stacks with Sonya, and then once the Dragon Queen was popped, you could already see that Lauber and his boys were falling back. But they lock in the early level 7, so that's actually quite nice for them. Get the advantage here with the repeating arrow now in. But of course, there's no problem for Team HasuObs to lock the Punisher in. And this is really where the arrow build now is going to find some value in the attempt to bait the Punisher over the wall, and then Vala can just simply get the combo through and try to get the damage in. So they actually run that down very, very quickly, just as Team HasuObs is also picking up the level 7 talent for themselves.
Yeah, and here you could see like the small errors, right? Because like the moment they pop Alex Raza Dragon Queen, Lauber team is doing the right thing. They're already losing on Shrine, and Dragon is popped, so they immediately rotate away and try to deny some soak on sides. But the response should come instantly, as they're not contesting anymore. So they shouldn't even have lost any waves, and they would have been ahead, and then ideally stayed with 4 and actually tried to get value from the objective. But instead we saw 2 people rotating down, and they stayed to try push with 3, and they barely got anything, right? So we're completely even, but completely like very good job from Team Lauber, right? To like instantly react and respond accordingly.
Yeah, talking about the rotations, actually, one question that I have to you is, how do you like the changes with those experience globes? Because I personally hate them, since it really allows for very sloppy rotations now when you compare it to the HGC times, where you had to be absolutely on point with your timing to ensure that you don't lose lane experience when a minion wave pushes in. Now you have a bigger grace period where you can just simply sit tight and just rotate late, so be a little bit sloppy in that response. So I'm absolutely not a fan. Do you have a different opinion on that? Do you like them, or what's your thought on those?
No, I personally do not like it, because this is something I really liked about Heroes of the Storm, that like even if it's like seems easy, right? It's just shove and clear, like in a lot of situations. It just allows you to play like good macro with how you play Fog of War and how you like get priority on waves, so always have time to make opportunities with mana dances and stuff like that. But with the new changes, it's a bit awkward, because there's so many situations where you have to actually show on the wave, right, to pick up the XP, while you could be hiding, or you could just rage push it out. But if you're rage pushing it out as Jaina, maybe you can't step up to like pick up the last minions, right? And then you're 3 seconds late because you were hesitant, and you can't just clear and go, right? So it's also something that it's just different, right? So you just have to adapt. But this makes more sloppy rotations, and it's not as like smooth anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming down on exactly the same side. It's something that I really dislike, that they've done this, and it feels like they're just like catering more and more to the casual side of it and try to make the game even easier. On the other hand, Sylvana's in a bit of trouble. Nice dodge. The Juke Master is in. A bit of extra damage against Lauber, thanks to the towers. Minus 30 armor in that instance, but nobody could follow it up outside of Wit that started to move in a bit. We currently have level 11 on both sides, so heroic abilities have already been picked. Pretty much the standard here, I would say, with the small exception that we have, again, for zone control, Hyperion taken over Raiders, which we oftentimes also see. Full spin to win build for Sonya, so going on the level 4 and level 7 talent. And outside of that, builds only 4 stacks actually right now for Vala, so not really a lot of skirmishes that she was involved in. Didn't really have an opportunity to stack the talent up. But the next shrine is already active here, as we're focusing straight into the middle quad.
Oh, Hasu gets booped out. That was a close call.
Over here.
Alex popped early.
Yeah, really early actually. And again, Shrine, they're already looking for the fight here. A little bit of damage coming in. We already have 13 against 6 stacks at this point. Lauber and his boys are starting to take the control slowly, but Hasu, they're coming in with Banana Age as the Dragon Queen get popped. They're trying to push through. They have 20 stacks and should be able to secure quite a bit here. Dangerous territory now for Team Lauber as the Dragon Queen is still active. Wit in small trouble, but they bunker it up, and that's the kill against Tyrael right here. Nicely done. 5 versus 4 situation. 33 against 20 stacks. It seems like Team HasuObs is gonna grab another Punisher in this game.
Clutch silence coming in there from Skoog, interrupting the sanctification, making sure they could get that pick off. Otherwise, the tides could have looked differently. But then again, here's the power of Sylvanas and their comp in general. Like, they have so much more shrine clear, which just allows them to easily get a lead and then pop dragon when you're ahead, and it's so hard to fight into the dragon on the shrine. So this is why like I'm leaning towards Hasu's draft a lot more, just because of how well they can play the map and the objective.
And they're actually playing on 3 sides now. They have a top push going. They're fighting for the camp here. Hyperion comes in. They're trying to go for Tai. Nearly a kill against Vala. The Punisher is still active and is pushing through the middle at the same time, but they're trying to steal another Shaman camp away. Misha down, and again Lauber and his boys on the run as Rexa was trying to defend the top, but they already lost the tower. Here in the middle, the fort is going to fall, and that's a huge attack right now on 2 lanes from Team HasuObs, a multi-pronged attack by them as the Punisher jumps over, starts to take Lauber slowly down. He needs to be careful, and the wall is falling with Sylvanas the entire time enhancing that push here. So big moves from Team HasuObs, and even the lead in experience again, which translated into an early level 13 that was also quite helpful in the last engagement.
So now it comes down to like the most important thing that happens on a lot of maps. When you're in this position, when you're 14 versus 13, like HasuObs team are guaranteed to, if they just soak everything right and play around the opponent, they're guaranteed to get 16 for the next objective, while Lauber's team might not get 16. They're actually pretty close in XP, right? But like there are situations where they won't really reach 16, right?
Yeah.
If they just soak. So they're in a situation that they kinda need to force and look for fights or maybe death ball, right? To try to get a response or get towers, just to make sure that they will get 16 for the next objective.
When we're talking about the supports, I mean, obviously with the Meta Madness setup, we start to see more adjustments now on day number 3. I'm pretty sure that yesterday we wouldn't have seen Alexstrasza in a first game on Infernal Shrines. Now, she was played yesterday once, also on this map, but I don't think it happened at any point on a first map. So it feels like especially HasuObs is adjusting a little bit with the style that they draft and when they pick a certain hero, because they want to have more options on later maps too. But talking Alexstrasza just a bit in general, she is incredibly powerful on Infernal Shrines with the Dragon Queen, and it's something that especially the North American teams, even towards the HGC times, have oftentimes used, whereas in Europe she never really made the splash. Here in Meta Madness you see her played, but what do you think is the main reason that Alexstrasza was actually, or never really had this breakthrough moment in normal games in Europe, even on this map?
It's as I said though, like they drafted it really smart in this situation. They already have like a kind of winning comp when it comes to macro and side pressure. So they're super safe to pick up the Alexstrasza. But usually what like NA did wrong, or what NA couldn't really do, is like if you pick Alexstrasza early, right, like you're committing to playing the shrine and you want to be stronger in the 4 versus 4, 5 versus 5 on shrine. And if you like recognize that early in the draft, you should opt into playing around it, aka setting up split push or play a more macro style. So you force the enemy team to always be split, and when they're split you can maybe look for man advantage collapses if you want to contest shrine. But even then you don't need to contest shrine, you play around them and you choose your fights, and you will always stay even, ideally even get ahead if you play the macro well.
Yeah.
But this was previously, right, where it was a lot easier to just get value by split pushing, etc.
Good displacement here, by the way, as we're looking at a potential kill against Wit. They're really going for it, and there comes the stray from Vala. Nicely done. Alexstrasza, we just talked about her, couldn't really do anything, was just sitting there and watch. And this is actually really good for Team Lauber. They get the second kill. It's not really a kill-heavy game. We have 2 kills on each side, but as the shrine is about to activate, not only do they have the level 16 talent that we highlighted a bit earlier, but they are also now in a lead. They have a 5 versus 4 on the map. Pretty much all the ults with the exception of Vala up for them, and they get the early lead here. And the reaction of HasuObs is to simply ignore the shrine. They know they cannot win this one, so instead they're starting to push the top lane a little bit more. They always have Sylvanas with this, so if there's no reaction from Team Lauber, they could easily go for a kill. But of course the blue team is already moving back. Even a trap set up in one of the smokes here, trying to make sure that if there is a aggressive rotation, that they can get a quick kill in. But with 36 points already towards the objective, this is eventually going to be a punisher for the blue team.
Yeah, for sure. But even then nothing happened here, right? Because that Blaze got picked up before the shrine. It's still the textbook response from Team Hasu, right? Like as you mentioned, you're 4 versus 5, you can't contest it. Go look for something on the other side. Try to pressure keep. Maybe they like rotate poorly and you can get a pick or take a 4 versus 4. Or as they're rotating top to defend, you can maybe get a quick collapse onto the objective, which is what they tried to do. Nothing happened though, objective goes over and the siege is coming in.
Yeah, attack down here now with the Punisher, of course. Team Lauber is trying to get a bit more momentum out for this. Fort is already a bit low. And here comes the Punisher. Freezing the thing already, whereas the Sanctification is coming through. Bunker is also dropped on the other side. The Strafe is back up and immediately used to put pressure onto Blade on Sonya. He's able to move back just barely, but what a stun setup with the jet propulsion again. And there's the kill against Lauber. Tyrael is down. They're still trying to get the kill against Sylvanas, and Scott gets away. But holy hell, that was a clutch escape. He nearly died. Punisher can finally be baited over the keep wall, but that's of course the objective done. A bit of an experience lead for the red team after all. And a really nice setup so far. 34,000 damage for Vala. We got 22,000 for Sylvanas, 21,000 for Jimmy. But it's a pretty solid first game that we see from both sides. A very even one as well.
Get out.
Yeah, that was
so
junk.
A bit optimistic, right? Like, he didn't have vision on anybody from Team HasuObs, and he tried to like utilize on his 13 right to jump around faster on the map. But obviously, if you don't have vision on the enemy team, you need to play it safe. Maybe shake with your Qs in any brushes, and you know, obviously just wait with pathing there.
Talking about the 13, were you in the game, or did you? I think they might have played against you. I don't quite remember. I think it was yesterday when we had on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I think it was HasuObs on Junkrat jumped towards one of the turn-in points, and he jumped straight into a Chinese bush trap with like 5 heroes there and died within half a second. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. It was versus us. It was kind of the same situation as we saw here. We lost the man, right, and we have nothing to do on that side of the map, and I called for that they might try to go to boss, so we get a kind of risky position, right? But it's just like we are there before them. If they face shake bad into us, we get a pickup. If not, we just back off and make sure we don't lose anybody else.
From an observer's perspective, it was one of the funniest things that I've seen the entire day.
Yeah.
He's just jumping around the entire time and jumps straight into 3 or 4 of you and dies within half a second. It looked absolutely amazing. Yeah, but over here we got Storm Talents picked up, so quest is also completed for Vala. She's done with a level 4. That's going to enhance her abilities. And with level 20, Fortified Bunker hasn't really been picked yet. We have on the other hand the Composite Spear for Sonya. Alright, a bit more of an aggressive setup here, granting the extra armor too.
As long as he plays it really good, I think it's super fine. It can obviously give a lot of value, especially if he wants to connect on backline, right? But then again, like when Sonya goes in, if she gets silenced and they turn on her, she can die in an instant. So it's a bit greedy because I think they already have the stronger 20 in my opinion. So if Sonya is unkillable and she's pressuring backline, I think they're like already in a super advantageous spot here going into 20.
I really like that we don't fall into that situation where a team is always trailing behind a talent when the next shrine gets announced. So we're going to see a 20 versus 20 setup. And that's where Vala also just starts to pop off with a Farflight Quiver and Manticore. That's really where the front line is absolutely in danger of getting ripped apart by her if they don't put any pressure onto her.
Yeah.
Trying to get the camp away. Once again, the attack. Lauber losing 50% of his HP pretty much immediately. Trying to bait a couple of ults here. Alexstrasza already using her. Sylvanas committed to the arrow. All 5 still available for Team Lauber as they are trying to take the position. Banana H and Dragon Form, and they're starting to push them back here. This could be the important one, especially if it's taken by the red team. Lauber is already low, needs to sank it up here. Sanctification being used as he jumps in again. They're trying to zone Banana H out a little bit from the rest of the team. But Team HasuObs is coming straight in with Blade, going for the spin to win here on his Sonya, trying to apply the pressure to the backline. Tai so far not really attacking the heroes, tries to control Sonya, who comes in with a big slam. Bunker's out on the map. Once again, Junkrat with his placement attempt. They're trying to go for Sylvanas. Svampgarotta looking for the kill, and he finds it together with Malfurion, who commits to the Twilight Dream. Top, another attack coming in. They nearly get the kill against Whittier, but the team in red moves away. And this looks more and more as if Team Lauber is going to commit to the shrine to secure themselves another Punisher. Obviously losing quite a bit of hit points at the top on the keep, and that forces Svampgarotta back. Looks like he's going to be able to save it, just barely. But that was a clutch thing, just general. Saving the keep. Oh, and also pushing through the middle now with the objective.
The key thing that happened here is, like at the hard camp skirmish, Skoog actually used his ulti on Sylvanas, and I believe Alexstrasza also used
both
Dragon or ultimate, right?
No, she ulted,
Yeah, so heading into the shrine, they were already lacking 2 ultimates. As of the side of Lauber, they didn't actually use anything, right? So small advantage coming in there to the objective, and they claim the protector. I don't think this is gonna be end. The only way they end here is if they actually kill more people. Maybe they will get the keep, right? But as long as Hasu realizes they cannot end the game here, they should, worst case, sack the keep. And we're still even talents, and it's anybody's game.
Yeah, they don't even have to sack the keep at this point. Wait for just a moment, was in a bit of trouble, but he could still bunker it up, had the ult ready again. 38,000 damage by now for HasuObs himself, 33,000 for Sylvanas. Whereas Vala is now bringing 60,000 damage to the table. And of course with Strafe she usually gets top numbers here when she's able to commit to the ult during the objective when she's hitting multiple heroes with it. And since she has the Manticore Farflight Quiver set up, that front line is starting to really suffer when she's able to get those auto attacks in. When she can... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, something I would like to see is that, like, since Blade is playing the long spear and he has Sylvanas follow up, right, who can always follow with the silence and like with the E build, right, she can also follow on backline. We're playing into Vala, Junkrat, Malf, super squishy backliners. I would like to try to see a flank followed up by the silence, because I'm pretty sure they can, with Alexstrasza follow up as well on the ult, they can one-shot the backliner. And this is something I would like to see them try, like just if they can get the position going for it. If not, they should just play the shrine with Alexstrasza Dragon and all their abilities to steal and poke.
Yeah, right now we have actually only 7 kills in this. We're 20 minutes in, and this is game number 1 of the best of 5 series. So this is probably the most normal game that we're going to see. Things are going to definitely get spicy after game number 2 as we're heading into the 3rd one. And of course, after yesterday's matches, we all kind of hope for a full best of 5 series, going the full distance here. But yeah, in the winner bracket final, we're going to determine the first team to move over to the grand final. And let's not forget, this is a double elimination system. So if a team loses here, they have another chance falling into the losers bracket. Yeah, but you guys yesterday also played.
No, we never played. Khaldor, focus on the match, because it's really important here. Like, you can see that they cap the hard camp early, which starts pressuring top. So I would like to see them instantly rotate to clear that and set up their own hard camp, but time their own hard camp for when the objective is up, because they can put themselves in a checkmate position with the ability with Raynor and Sonya. They can easily shred core, so they could potentially opt into, you know, like as objective pops, they try to split push and
top-notch transition. Top-notch, I like it. Well done.
No, but honestly, this is something they can do. If they don't feel confident in the fight, they could look to just push out top, go to top lane, threaten the core, and force a rotation and maybe get a collapse on the objective, or even commit core if the response is too slow from Team Lauber. So something I want to see now from Team Lauber is that they stay far up in their face, just to have the vision and information of what Team Hasu does, so they don't even let them pressure side.
Talking about the reaction, by the way, it was great to see that. First of all, your reaction was awesome, but it was also good to see HasuObs reacting quickly as Lauber was pushing through the middle, trying to go for that fort. Topside is a bit of a problem right now for the blue team, because that double wave will eliminate the keep eventually if it gets to that. Then again, once the fight established here over the next shrine, here comes Hyperion. Dragon Queen is already in. Sanctification is used to go through the checkpoint as the kill command is getting executed by Rexa. They go for the kill and they take Jimmy down. Jimmy eliminated immediately the attack towards the backline here again as they're attempting to follow up with a second kill. They go for Wit, take him down. Banana H is dead as well. The triple kill for Team Lauber. Sonya is trying to spin to win to victory, but Blade is starting to get low too. Moves away out of the fight, but the pressure is there. Top lane has fallen though. They keep eliminated. 6 kills against 4 now. Rexa already double checking at the bottom a bit. The catapults, of course, starting to hit hard here. They're trying to prep for the middle, but nice reaction also from Team HasuObs. They're trying to set up an attack at the top, but have to be back as Junkrat is already visible top side. Rest of the team is moving down to the bottom of the map. Rutsu, on the other hand, is able to barely get out here, but the push is coming, and I don't think that Blade and Sylvanas are going to be enough to finish the core off here.
There's no way they can end this. And even just to be safe, like, Team Lauber can just back with even numbers. Like, just backing with 2, right? Just guarantees there's no way they can But ideally backing with 3, since nobody's up to defend on the side of Haso, this is just game.
Yeah.
But this is what I talked about, right? Like opting into this objective, I would have liked them to like just send Sonya ideally, right? Just send her top lane to force a reaction, because if nobody comes and Sonya gets to start on the core with like 2 or 3 katas, if nobody's backing, they will end the game.
Game number 2, everybody! Towers of Doom is the map, and let's go! Team Lauber against Team HasuObs, and Team Lauber able to clutch it out towards the end. On the final shrine, they took the 3 kills, followed up with 2 more, and ended the game there. Job well done by them. As we're heading into our second map, Towers of Doom, that of course means that 20 heroes are now not playable anymore. We have the 10 global bans that I went over at the beginning of game number 1, and the 10 heroes that were played on the last map are not allowed to be played anymore again. So it should actually become a little bit more spicy. And Quack actually started to talk just between the games a bit about how towards game 3, games 4, it starts to become a bit tricky, not only on the tank side, which we talked about yesterday a lot, but also that the range DPS side, especially the Orders attacker, are starting to become extremely limited, as you can't play your Tracer anymore, your Phoenix is out, your Vala isn't playable anymore, Reyna is also eliminated. And one of the heroes that I actually just brought up to you, and we can discuss that a little bit, what do you think about like a game 4, game 5 Suljin, for example? Now that game length is also slightly increased, is he an alternative? Is he a hero that offers value, or do you feel that even with that he has no place in a late game match in Meta Madness?
I think it really is comp dependent, right? Because Suljin is like one of those heroes that need a lot of uptime and just like skirmishing all the time, right? To complete his quest. And it's the same, right? Like if you pick Khaldor or pick Suljin, like you really just want to be in the enemy's face and like trade all the time just to stack your quest. And if the enemy team plays around that, or if you're struggling to walk up because they have kill pressure on you, then it's not a good game for you. So like it's gonna be a very niche pick, right? But if you're looking for a strong like DPS carry, then for sure you can get him in later into the Meta Madness drafts.
Yeah, I mean, now we have the Tacita pick that was already denied on Infernal Shrines, and we highlighted that a little bit, but he is definitely going to be one of the most sought after heroes in upcoming tournaments as well. Of course, in this format you can only play him once. We have again the ban against Medivh. I would be surprised if at any point Lauber is going to allow HasuObs to get away with Medivh here. I mean, Hasu's hero pool has already shrunk down a bit just simply through the global bans. We, for example, don't have Sergeant Hammer available anymore, and I'm pretty sure that everybody that faces off against HasuObs and his team has caught a little bit of a sigh of relief when that happened, because his hammer is pretty annoying. As I think you said too, you actually messaged me and said, how many heroes do need to get banned out until we get rid of Sergeant Hammer?
I even said I'm ready to gift subs.
just don't give the German the Panzers, that doesn't go well.
Exactly. So I'm actually a bit curious why they pick up the Maltel instead of the Lyric here. I would prefer the Lyric pick in general, like especially if you're picking it this early, because the Maltel has potential to like not get countered, right? But like if you play heavy ranged comp with Lucio into Maltel, like he will struggle to actually get value in team fights if he can't sit on a frontliner.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit surprised, but obviously he's good at double soaking on the map and so on. And if it's a comfort pick, then go for it. But
how big of a role does it actually play for you guys? I mean, you drafted with your team yesterday too. When you're heading into these late game scenarios, game 3, game 4, game 5, how much of a role do those comfort picks play when you have to draft in a special rule system like this one?
So we never got to go to game 4 because we were pretty bad.
I actually thought you at least got one map. Sorry, dude. I mean, I'm all in favor of putting you on the spot, but that one was unintentional.
But we actually had some like kind of niche comps that I had already kind of like pre-planned into game 4, game 5 that could be really insane. You know, like maybe like a big map, you play Anub, Illidan, Genji, right? And literally all you do is you web frontline, you press hunt on somebody and you dive. So it's kind of like straightforward, easy to execute, and if it fits the map and the game well, it could have been something, you know, that's really nice in the game 4, game 5 when you're starting to lack heroes. And Stitch's Katie draft could come in on Tomb, so I had some stuff in mind, but sadly we didn't get to display that.
Yeah. I mean, Stark yesterday actually used Stitches once on Tomb, and I still remember the previous Meta Madness where he did that multiple times, and they did exceptionally well with it. Interestingly enough, we have Tracer back in. Well, that's not the interesting part. What I find more interesting is that Tai is already playing Orphea. We expected her to come in for sure, but not necessarily in map number 2. That's usually a pick they reserved for later games. But Orphea is in, Tracer together with her. We get the Uther pick also for Banana H, and Tychus is making an experience. So I gotta say, for game 2, we already have a few heroes that I did not expect on the second map, that I more so thought would make an appearance on map number 3. When it comes to the DPS, for example, the auto attackers, oftentimes Tychus has taken a bit of a backseat compared to other heroes that he can take here. Last pick comes in, and it's again the Murky. Nice. Swampgrotta with a bit of Murky play over here as we are heading into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be awesome again. The Murlocs are on the prowl. Towers of Doom, map number 2. Team Lauber against Team HasuObs, the winner bracket final between Team Lauber and Team HasuObs at Meta Madness. Let's jump straight in. Game number 2, Team Lauber against Team HasuObs. We have Lauber himself on Diablo, Swampgrotta on Murky. Yeah, his infamous Murky is making another appearance here in Meta Madness. Death Knight on Lulcio, we got Tai on Orphea, and Rutsu on Tracer. On the right side of the map, Wit on Mal'Ganis for Team HasuObs. We got Blade on Malthael, Banana H on Uther, HasuObs on Tassadar, and Scott is playing Tychus in this second game. Quark, talk to me about the Murloc. Talk to me about Swampgrotta and Murky. You said earlier he's your boy, and you want to give him a bit of a shout out. You reserve the right to take it back, but now that he plays his Murky, how annoying is it to go up against his Murky play?
The thing is, maybe that's a reason why they didn't opt into the early Leoric, because they know that Swamp really likes to play the Murky when he has the chance, and especially into Leoric, it's just a free matchup. So maybe that's why they didn't pick the Leoric so early. But then again, like, this is what you're gonna see for most of the game. Like, Tracy wants to bully topside, especially when Octograb, if he opts into Octograb, comes in at 10. Like, it's gonna be scary for whoever goes on side to soak. But in general, I really like the House's draft. Both drafts are looking really spicy for game 2 in Meta Madness, right? But I like their draft because I think Diablo will have a really hard time here, and Tassadar scales insanely. 20 Odin also scales insanely well. But I'm excited for the Tracer and the Murky on the side of Team Lauber.
Yeah, no, it's kind of awesome to see how early they commit to a lot of those heroes as well. Especially, of course, the Murky setup. We've seen it multiple times now. I mean, the hero got banned against him in the in-house league too, just to highlight that it's not only a pick that they're going for in Meta Madness over here. But for game number 2, we already have quite a few of interesting heroes being picked. The Orphea setup in particular. She had a couple of great games yesterday, but as I said before, it's normally towards the later stages of a best of 5 series where she actually made an appearance here. But yeah, I gotta say something else as we're actually looking at it. So guys, it was actually incredibly cute earlier. Quacknix coming in and asking me beforehand if he's allowed to meme a little bit on the channel. We said immediately that that's fine. But yeah, there's a professional setup over here. So memes are allowed over here. Swearing is allowed too.
Try to keep the memes down to before the games and after the games.
I think the YouTube crowd is not gonna like that. They want the memes too. This is a fun event, my friend.
That's true, actually.
You're allowed to
so
meme.
we'll see. We'll wait till somebody runs it down, and then we'll meme a little bit. Then. Oh, look at Skoog.
How do you pronounce it? Oh, Diablo. There's the hit. Bigger they are. And Lauber. No way. There we go. Grenade in. He's down. And they get the second kill. Sylvanas is also dead. Sorry, Tracer. We get the counter kill against Tychus at least. But still, 2-for-1 trade in favor of Team HasuObs. Good opening into the map here. Opening the bottom wall up. Getting 2 kills. Having half a level lead now. Things are actually looking pretty good here early on for them.
So this is what I like a lot about their compositions, right? Like into Diablo, and with the tools they have, like Tracer has a hard game to actually like pressure anybody here. Like she doesn't have a lot of uptimes on the heal, so as long as they turn on her early with everybody, like she kinda can't do a lot. And the Diablo, if he goes into the bigger they are, like he's gonna have a rough time, right? And a lot of CC coming in as well, so we'll see how this goes post 10, but I really like, as I mentioned earlier, the Hasu's draft.
Yeah, Tai in a bit of trouble here. Top left, already channeled out by Murky. Top right, Malthael is doing the same thing now. Mal'Ganis is rotating back down as the fight, as usual, is starting to unfold right in front of the third altar to see who gets the early lead on the objective. But now that Mal'Ganis is in, they're trying to set it up against Diablo again. Tyke is a little bit far out though, but they're moving in with the wall, and there's the bigger they are. Lauber is low, Blade is coming in, and Diablo's in trouble and goes down again. This is going to be an incredibly annoying setup later on after level 10 when we have the bigger they are plus last rights. That's going to be brutal for Lauber.
Sure. For sure. It's what I feel about this is like, sure, they want to like go to late and let Swamp do his thing, right? But they will have to concede so much in the early game just because their 4-man can't do anything versus Hasu's 4-man. They're just stronger in every situation, every skirmish. As long as Skoog is there, like Diablo can't go in, right? And you have the pressure on Tracer, so she can't really work anybody down, kind of tanky opponents as well. So we'll see, like they really need to make sure that they go late here, right? So the Murky can actually start getting value.
Yeah. I mean, especially after 16, when you have Benediction coming in, the double stun that could come from Banana Age against Tracer, that's already annoying. And you have so many point and clicks that you can use now too. So they have a great setup with this. Tracer's build, by the way, pretty much solidified after yesterday. The 1-2 punch on level 1, the pulse generator, the new talent is coming in after that on level 4, and the locked and loaded, which was moved from 16 to 7, the new level 7 standard pick more or less for her. And now even an invade attempt here towards the pumpkins, but not taken. And top side against the exchange, but here comes Skoog, and he actually is going to be able to get out there, trying to get a counter kill. They're going for Death Knight. Lulzio already lulls away. And they... Oh, maybe a kill? No. Good wall. Lauber again. Yeah, you wanted someone to run it down, and I guess Lauber just went, hold my beer. I want it, boys.
So, good attempt initially to get the pick off on Skoog as he was isolated from his team. Skoog fast recognized that he needed to path down into his team. And like what Tassadar really excels at are when people are running at you, but not specifically the Tassadar, right? And in choke points. He gets so much damage there. I think he had 2 Qs like going through 3-4 people there. And the burst is actually insane.
They're still trying to pick up the top left shrine. It's so difficult to take your opponent's shrine in this phase where we have the 2 altars on the map. So it's actually kind of crazy. They were trying to take it, and even with the kills that they got, they couldn't really zone this. So now we have the traditional exchange between the 2. If you don't have a North American team playing, going for that 40-0 is just nearly impossible.
Yeah, been there, done that, so... 40-0, never forget, right, chat?
Oh, the Octograph! And the kill! Nice! Yeah,
and this is what I talked about, right? But this is where they actually start to play their game, when they actually have all the time kill pressure on whoever is side, if they just send anybody there. So it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be fun to see how they dictate and how they show their bodies, because the moment Hasu's teams are showing 3 or 4 on waves, right? It makes it really easy for Swamp and whoever wants to come to set up those kills on the guy on side lane. Yeah. And this is where they can start coming back into the game by finding those picks, scaling, and trying to like actually play the game post 1620. But then again, I think Hasu's team is just stronger at every tier, like from 1 to 20. So yeah, it's a tough game, honestly.
They look pretty solid here right now. I also like that Banana H has still not made a choice on his level 10 talent, so he still has, of course, the option to help them out with the Divine Shield if need be. But at the same time, if you're going up against Tracer, you stack the Benediction stuns on level 16, and then in addition to that, you also can hit her with the Divine Storm. That CC that you have with that is just absolutely insane, and allows the rest of the team to easily come in and get the kill here. So if he decides to go into the Divine Storm, then from Rutzer it's going to be incredibly difficult to make any of these big plays that he really wants to execute here. And one of the few kills that we've seen taken was actually the execution with the Octograb towards the top side as Malthael was eliminated. So that's obviously these nice rotational kills that they can pick off against the solo laner if they get into that position. But the problem, as you already said, is that the scaling into the late game seems to be incredibly strong for Team HasuObs. So if they're able to just put the pressure onto Lauber himself, not even without the Tassadar pick, just simply through the bigger they are, plus last rights and what they can add with stuns, then in addition to that, you have also Tassadar, who right now on the damage output is actually trailing a little bit behind Tychus, because Tigers has gotten so much value against Lauber himself, but he's still sitting at 16,000, which is more than any other player on the blue team side. So it just shows how the damage output for them is a little bit situational depending on who they are facing off against, but it's incredibly powerful here. And towards the late game, we're going to see a similar situation with that too. Now, we'll find out if maybe Team Lauber is able to somehow force something here. I mean, at some point, if they can build up momentum on this map, then of course you can always try and win the game that way, right? You get a few bell towers, you get some momentum going for you, but getting to that point will be difficult for them.
And Divine Shield is picked from Uther, which I kind of like, right? Because I think they're already winning, like, from a draft perspective by default, right? As I mentioned. So I think like having this safety tool is so good just to make sure that like Orphea can't pop off with a one shot or Tracer.
Yeah, and here again, kill against Diablo. And it's actually really annoying because in this case, Diablo just completed the quest, dies a second later, and because we're 7 minutes in, the death timer is incredibly low. So he pretty much gets nothing out of the fact that he had the soul stack together. Would have been way better for him to die here with the 99. So
yeah,
that's really annoying in the early game.
Because now, like, I mean, he's already in a position where he can barely walk up, right? Just because he will get popped, and now again, like, he is at 0 souls, like, he can't walk up to actually be the front line here, which makes the game even harder. And it looks like he's gonna go down again. Quick kill coming in. Great Tassadar wall there, and he's just dead. It's really important that I don't tilt. Like, this game is looking really grim, but like in terms of shots and XP, they're completely fine, right? But they are kind of getting dominated everywhere, so gotta keep the composure and mental stability.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. I mean, again, Malthael gets taken down on top side too. That was the Tracer and Murky combo again, where Octograb became key. But with Diablo just getting farmed and dying 5 times already, the bottom control has now been lost, so the bell tower gets taken. But 5 deaths on Diablo. So that pretty much means that out of these 7 deaths, 5 times it was Diablo was taken out, and it's always just like the same MO. You move in, you get the bigger they are connected, they burn him down, and then they go for the kill. And all of these setups were actually in the 4 versus 4. You talked about the 4-man strength previously, but this is even without Malthael offering the option to go last rights to secure the kill, so they don't even need him for this. And that just makes this scary as you think about how this will look in the late game. Do you feel that there is anything that they can do outside of sacrificing the sound barrier every single time that Diablo gets focused with the bigger they are?
I'm not even sure if it's enough, and like something really strong that we saw coming in is like whenever Lauber, like if he goes in or whenever he's in a sticky situation. Oh, hold up.
You need to kill against Tracer here again. Divine Shield getting some good value. Wit is going in deep for this one. They need to be careful that they don't get too cocky here. They have a good lead, but we've seen quite a few teams already throw those away. So a bit careful here. Holding out to the bell tower right now. Tai is moving out too. They're obviously hoping to poke down that bell tower and reclaim it. Murky at the top falls at least to Malthael this time, but here's the double altar activation. That would be 10 points off the core if both of them are claimed by the red team. But they do not have that talent lead just yet. As Wit is going for the channel at the bottom, we're going to see the fight over the third one in the middle now.
Free cap on bot lane, and they're playing it safe. Malthael is chilling so he doesn't get caught. Very nice. Good cleanse.
Yeah, there's also immediately the old use from Tassadar. They're starting to move in. Lauber is again a bit low. Blade comes in, and Daz could be the last right kill, but he's already on the cooldown. Used it earlier, has the first stack here committed. They're trying to get the kill against Tai though, and he is close. Blade jumps in. There's the sound barrier. They're trying to go for the counter kill, but that didn't work out. The inevitable end has already been used as well. And here's the kill against Diablo once more. He falls. Nicely done. They're nearly taking Tai and Death Knight out too. Rutsu is trying to keep them alive. Wit, of course, gets healed again. Murky just trying to get some lane value and push those out, but that's another 5 shots fired against the core. We're down to 13 against 32, and things are becoming really difficult now for Team Lauber.
Yeah. Another great Tassadar wall coming in there, almost getting the pick onto Tai. But then again, like here you can just see the strength of like not only their composition, but like drafting in this game in general. Like the more we're seeing this game, the more I'm just leaning towards a statement that is, this game is out to won by draft.
Yeah. I mean, they have like a really cool setup here against the front line in particular. And the problem is also, if you have a different support, then maybe you can mitigate some of that. But Lucio is just not able to keep Diablo alive here. He just doesn't have any tools available to really make that play. Maybe coming in, trying to put him back to create a little bit of space for Diablo would help. But it's just super tricky for him to do anything here. And by now the stacks are coming in for Tassadar too. He's sitting at 160. The Octograb setup at the top and another kill against Malthael. But it honestly feels like these rotations towards a single target and then locking it down with Octograb are pretty much the only instances where we see the blue team become dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the only play they can really make. And then look for man advantage situations, right? We see...
Yeah, kill against Hasu. So again, the man advantage, you get the early kill, and then you try and play it out afterwards with the numeric advantage. Tracer gets away here, that was important. Only 3 on the map. There's still the Divine Shield ready, so if Wit needs it, Banana H should be able to provide it. But he's just simply moving out. 5 kills against 8. It's actually kind of interesting, because when you look at the kill count, it's not that big of a difference. It's a 3 kill difference, it's even experience, it's really just the numbers on the core that is the problem, and the way that the team fights have been shaping up so far.
Yeah, for sure. So really good pickup. This is something I talk a lot about when you're playing into Murky. If the Murky is joining the team fight, like you should always, if he's greeting and he's like in your face, you should always opt to kill him, right? Because just by killing him, he will be gone for, depending on his placement of the egg, at least 10-15 seconds. And that puts you for 15 seconds in a 5 versus 4 situation.
Yeah. It was actually cool to also see that the Divine Shield was used to get the channel through here. So as Lucio moved in, Banana H just didn't give 2 fucks, moved in, dropped the Divine Shield and just said like, alright, get the channel through. And that secured them another 5 shots. And that is right now single digits on the core of Team Lauber. They have 6 points against 26, despite the fact that the blue team was at least able to get 2 altars this time because of the initial kills. But they've never regained bottom control again. They never reclaimed that bell tower.
And I don't think they can ever get it right unless they get a pick on side or... Yeah, I honestly don't see a way where they can get it back as long as Hasu's team is actually there guarding it, you know? And if they're not showing... So if Lauber's team is not showing bot lane, then Malthael just has to be really careful that they're looking for the play on him. But in general, I think this game is looking for an end because Tracer has no play to make either, as I talked about, right? Like, he tried to bomb Skoog just a few moments ago, and Skoog just presses his spell shield, and, you know, it's never in danger. And I just don't see how they win this game as long as Hasu's team doesn't get picked like we saw previously, right?
Yeah, and now the Pumpkins even gets ulted here from Orphea trying to take that down, and they shut them down very, very quickly. But here comes the altar, and boss is of course up as well. If you win a team fight now, you're going to be in a great spot. The advantage for Team Lauber is that they have the lead in experience. So if they can maybe snowball this to level 20, they have a time window where they will have their Storm Talents and can maybe then dominate for a bit of time. So Hasu and his boys need to be careful on that front at least. But for this fight, for this single altar that is spawning middle now, you're gonna have even talents again. Murky's already coming in from the top, and now of course the question how Lauber is gonna play this. He's the one that they will try to focus down as quickly as they can as he approaches. A little bit of poke coming from both teams now. Murky is moving in from the top. The bomb is already dodged as Tracer was trying to connect it. Wit is moving in. Good damage against Ty. Ty gets stunned, and that's a problem. Soundberry keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Whereas Malthael when you need him here, he's actually getting attacked, but Orphea is down. Coffin Girl eliminated. Skoog already with his own ult trying to pressure them back, and they're caught on the wrong side of the map right now. They're literally caught between a rock and a hard place, trying to use the Apocalypse to their advantage. That didn't really work here. They're going for Tassadar. Blade is a little bit low as well, but still has the last rights. He could pop this at any moment as they're moving in. The quest is completed for Murky as they are all falling low. Swamgrotta is coming in looking for the kill against Banana H, but doesn't find it. But here comes the kill against Tychus as Tracer moves in together with Diablo, who has his stacks together. And Lauber, like, holy shit, the team is able to sustain themselves through the fight despite the early death of Orphea. They're still fighting it out here, and everybody is low for HasuObs' side. They look for the kill, they still have last rights available, but they just can't find the target, it seems. Another connect with the bomb on Tracer. They're all falling back, and the channel has been started and it will be completed by Tracer. What a fight from Team Lauber.
For sure, they did that really well, and something smart that Lauber did was, since he recognizes how squishy he is, right, he actually pre-tapped right before he went in, and he tried to go really aggressive to capitalize on that. But what I don't like is, from Team Hasu, is the moment that they got the pickup on Orphea, I would like them to reset, play it a bit slower, wait cooldowns, because you are in a 5 versus 4, right? But what happened was they literally just went heads to heads instantly. But if they get the reset there, it would have been looked completely different, and it would have probably been a kind of easy fight for Team Hasu.
Yeah, what Hasu then tried to do, as the bottom bell tower has taken, to at least go for a trade topside, but Murky slowed them down at the boss so much that the team could rotate in, and now they steal even that away. That's the infamous momentum swing on this map. So all of a sudden it's level 20 in the hands of the blue team, 19 points against 6 on the core. Hasu and his boys, they need to fall back a little bit, wait for their storm talents. Topside gets pressured. Nobody is defending that. That's Pumpkins connecting. That might actually be a bell tower that gets connected. With all the power that they had in the earlier stages of the game, the red team still needs to be careful right now that they're not getting snowballed here. This is exactly the situation that we talked about earlier. If you lose the momentum on the map, it can always turn against you in Towers of Doom.
For sure, and this is what I talked about as well, right? Like at 20, they are, I mean, they can actually play the game, right? But before then, there was no chance. And even then, I still believe that Team Hasu is a lot stronger as 20. But I think they need to be a bit more patient in this fight. Just control the Tracer and be ready to bully Deathwing and kill Murky if he oversteps.
Yeah, talking about overstepping, there's the channel, double altars on the map, 4 versus 4 now. If they get both, then it's over. Banana Age, he still has the Divine Shield. If they start the channel and he gets the Divine Shield in, this is game. If they start it and just complete it halfway and he gets the Divine Shield through to save them, that would just be it. He didn't go for Bulwark here, but this is still super dangerous now for Team Lauber. They have to hold the position on the shrine. Murky goes down. He's gone for at least 15 seconds. That's a huge problem right now. Channel could start up as we speak. If Blade goes for it, so far not happening. They're going for the next kill. Divine Shield on Malthael as they're moving in again. The last rides and nearly the kill against Ty, but not quite. Instead, Ophia finally falls. She goes down. And they are down to a 4-man with Murky back to business now. Melganis is also coming back. Blade still sitting, going for the channel. 2 points against 19. This could be it right here. Murky is down once again, but at least the counter kill against Malthael. The wall is in. Lauber is in trouble. They're trying to burn him down as quickly as he can. He moves actually back in and dies, but he had the souls. He's going to be back to business in no time. Blade is trying the channel. Someone has to move in and stop him, but it doesn't seem like anybody can make it happen. They're going for Tracer and they're about to kill him, and Blade gets the channel. That is it. That is game, and that's a tie in the series as Team Hasu wins Towers of Doom against Lauber as we are heading into game number 3.
GG.
Alright everyone, game number 3. Let's get the show on the road. Team HasuObs against Team Lauber. We're guaranteed at least 4 maps, which is going to be awesome. And now as we're heading into game number 3, we have 30 heroes banned out already. 10 globally banned and 20 not available anymore because they were played during game number 1 and game number 2. It's gonna get spicy in Tomb of the Spider Queen. And Quack already has a little bit of a wish list of what he wants to see here. Apparently someone is a fan of the good old Stitches Kel'Thas combo.
For sure. I think the later it goes, right, like, the weaker the heroes are gonna be, it's gonna be super easy to, like, execute that. And on this map, right, like, it's not like you give anything up. Like, you literally just stay and spam wave clear, and post 13 as well, like, you have a win condition throughout the entirety of the game. And I mean, we'll see if somebody pulls it out, but I'm a really big fan of the Stitches KT coming in here.
I would actually love to see a bit more of Stitches too. So far, we've seen on this map 1 Stitches play, I think. We've seen another one. I don't even know which other map it was, but we saw 2 Stitches so far, which was actually kind of cool. See, those hooks are, as I know, from an observer's perspective, from an audience perspective, seeing just these hooks after level 30 now even flying out is absolutely amazing. But now that we're on Tomb, we have actually a ban against Jaina, so a lot of the burst damage that you would require for a lot of these plays is with this gone. obviously a lot of the wave clear that you want to have on the map too. Which reminds me, wave clear, Leo hasn't been played yet, right? So Leo is still an option that might make an appearance and should make an appearance on this map now.
Yeah, very surprised about that. But then again, maybe they were respecting the Murky a lot, which, I mean, it played out really well for them in the last game, and like the early multi pick into Diablo was really good as well. But it should be coming out, yeah, really early in this strat was what I was gonna say. Maybe even first pick, which it happened. Good job.
Alright, so let's see what we're gonna get for the red team. I mean, at this point, still game number 3, it starts to become a bit spicy, but there's still quite a few tanks around. But as we stated before, a lot of the heroes at the front line are starting to get heavily limited now, especially with the additional ban against Garrosh that adds to it. That leaves us with only a few tanks available. Stitches, for example, Muradin is still in, you can make it a Nubarak play. But we need at least 2. And of course, there's always the Imperious main tank situation that could also work out here. But we have an early Maiev, we get that Chromie pick for the poke from afar. And there is already a lot of kill potential with this. Do you think this is another chance of us seeing a variant with Taunt into burst damage from Chromie and maybe another one? Some of these kill comms have actually been funny to watch yesterday in those matches.
Could be for sure. Like I know that like Lauber really likes that hero in general, right? So maybe they opt into it with Stukov, or they do that, which also enables kill pressure and maybe it feels a little bit better into the Maiev Chromie, that you have the dive pressure under the Chromie and still provide a lot of like stun into Stukov silence. Depending on your follow-up from your range heroes, can kill anybody.
Yeah, we get the Muradin pick and Stukov follow-up, so a lot of lockdown, especially after 13 and the virulent reaction. Bans, of course, now ticking in again. They could... Carrigan gets banned, alright. So none of those triple frontline setups that we've seen the entire time. And at this point, Lauber, are they going to ban an additional tank out? Again, the biggest ones that we have right now still available are Variant, Stitches, and Anubarak. Imperious could also be played. So game 3 really limits you a little bit more, but game 4 is where we really see the shit hitting the fan when it comes to frontline pressure. But we're already...
I think a noob ban here is... Yeah, exactly, there we go. I think a noob ban is really good here because it's enables like what they have already picked, right? Like with the CC chain and like the dive follow-up with Maiev, and also right, like having a tank that is kinda safe into potential blow-up on frontline because you have the Muradin Stukov set up. So good ban from them in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what they're gonna get now. If they go for that Imperious solo tank that we had previously. There's Urel first of all. That's actually a really nice pick as well. So you have Urel already set up, you have Deckard Cain together with that, so that is going to enhance the front line no matter what you pick in addition with her. So you can make quite a bit of plays here. Now, outside of that, we're really starting to get a little bit low on those tanks. Blaze was picked earlier, so you can't use him in a position like this either. But we still need also a little bit more damage now for Team Lauber. And we still have a couple of heroes available that you could play here, even on an auto-attacker side. Phoenix, who has made an appearance, has not been played yet, but there's the Thrall first, and Kel'Thas now.
Okay, I actually like it a lot. Like, I think it panned out really well here for them, and they have kill pressure like on pretty much anybody, right? With the additional KT.
This is insane, honestly.
Yep. But like something that is... Like, if they fail to kind of one-shot, and the Maiev can easily get, like, a counter engage, right? Like, when they try to blow up frontline, it's pretty telegraphed for Maiev to go in, right? And try to disrupt the Stukov and maybe the KT, right? And get the turnaround play, but on Tomb, it's a bit harder, right? Because you're always playing kind of close to your gate.
Yeah.
Because of how narrow and short the lanes are. But... I really like honestly I like both drafts, but this is what I don't like about Team Hasu. It's so hard to draft against them. They have really good drafts all the time in my opinion.
Game number 3, ladies. It's Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left side, the blue team. On Thrall, Death Knight on Stukov, Lauber on Muradin, going straight for the dwarf here with the stacks on his level 1. Svamkarota on Leoric, Tai on Kel'Thas. And Team HasuObs on the right side of the map with HasuObs himself on Chromie. He's gonna go straight in for that. In addition, Banana H on Deckard Cain, Skook on Maiev, Blade on Urel, and Wit on Arthurs. So, let's go. The Trolling Thunder on level 1 for Thrall. And yeah, Arthur's in the main tank position. It feels kind of cool, but it's also weird to see that, because especially from the European perspective, if we see Arthur's at all, it's usually on a side laner position, and mainly against heroes like, I don't know, Greymane, but boy, that was a quick kill. 20 seconds in, and Thrall is dead. That must be a new record for this tournament.
But there we saw the kind of telegraphed position, even though it wasn't on KT and Stukov, as I mentioned. Like, it's so telegraphed. Like, you make a play on the tank, and if you're overstretching, Maiev easily like looks for the backline at the same time and just gets a counter play. So they need to be careful with that and make sure they're in a safe position when they're looking for these one-shots, because if they fail to execute, then they're gonna get turned on by Maiev.
Yeah, but it's still kind of crazy how much CC actually exists for the blue team. But here comes the lockdown. Maiev comes in right away. They go for the kill against Tai. Khaldor is down. They're looking for Death Knight in the follow-up. Lauber is also in a little bit of trouble, but all of them are starting to move slowly away here. The lockdown again from Deckard Cain. The old man comes in. They're going for Lauber. The Tedder is there. Skook and the kill. Down goes Muradin. That's a triple kill already in this game. And Team Lauber is getting a bit wrecked here. Holy hell, that's not a good start for them.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Skook plays a really good Maiev, right? And they just have to respect it all the time. Focus on wave clearing, making sure they choose their moments. I'll see if they have learned from the two first engages here and can maybe change it up a little bit and play it a bit more safe. Oh, huge pickoff.
Yeah, they get Cain down, but we have the camp also taken down here. Bottom of the map, still Blade with the play, but at least a counter kill now for the blue team. So they put the first point on the board for them. Awesome's renewal on level 1. Level 4 talents are a little bit quicker on board for Team Hasu. The Leo on the choo-choo train. Okay, that's a mount combo that I didn't know I wanted to see. But yeah. On the left side also camp now taken, and we have the reverberation for Muradin in this case, who's still trying to play this out here. But good aggression from both sides. I like that they come into this third game already with a lot of aggression, coming swinging, trying to get the kills here.
And here you see the like kind of textbook play as well, right? Like, even though it doesn't seem like much, we get a hard camp early setup, which forces like them to be there to defend. They push outside and just get their coins paid in for free. And even if it wasn't a lot, it's what you should do. Like, they are stuck clearing the camp, you dump all your coins completely safe, and it's 21 coins turned in already for Team Hasu. And let's see if they can do the same now as their hard camp is pressuring a bit. It's a bit later here, right? So they can maybe stall these ones?
Yeah, at the bottom, first of all, we saw also a bit of a double attack aggression against Urel. Space Code was able to move out though. Still up at the top, Kelthas. He's of course now trying to get his stacks together on the level 1. Only 6 so far. You really want to have that spell shield as quickly as possible for yourself here. Or that mana shield. So now, the 3 kills against 1. Turn in, 11 have already been delivered. 25 in the hands of Team Hasu, which means that they're actually really close to getting enough gems together for the first turn. And if they can get another kill, that would be great. They're moving up to the top. Lauber is already on the run, is still on cooldown on the jump as far as I know. Oh, the death coil kill against Muradin. Nicely done by Wit.
And something that's gonna get really spooky here is if Team Hasu can get the pay in here at level 8 or around level 9, there's gonna be the loop available, right? And they're gonna be forced to play 3 lanes, because spiders are pushing on 3 lanes, and they can easily run out and just pick off anybody on the side lane with the loop here. So we're gonna see if we can make that play happen if they get the first pay, which they did.
Yeah, Red Beavers are now coming down. The level 7 talents are in, and with that, they're actually looking for another kill. They're going straight in for Svamkrota, but there's a little bit of assistance that he gets at this point as everybody starts to jump in. And maybe with the kill against Blade, they can set themselves up for the defense here. But the Space Goat is able to move out pretty quickly here. Lauber still with the jump forward, hoping to lock Wit down for the kill, but it doesn't help. And now the Web Weavers are on the map. Here we go, lockdown attempt again against Death Knight. He's just moving out a little bit. Lauber on the other hand, jumping, gets body blocked, didn't jump far enough, goes down, and that's going to make for a very tricky defense now. They're down 1 player, 5 kills against 1, big lead in experience, and this push is going to hurt Quack.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there we saw the attempt of pick off with the loop, which is incredibly strong here. Because even though they didn't get the kill on Stukov, they managed to get the kill, and now this will snowball their web weavers, which you usually don't get a lot of value out of the web weaver first web weaver wave here, right? Because of the new changes. But since they get a kill, they get the entire fort mid, maybe.
Yeah, they should definitely get at least this one, and they do. If they can follow up with another kill, that would just be insane for them. They're in such a good position already. An entire level ahead. If they get the level 10, they might even get the second turn in before the blue team gets even one. Lauber again in trouble, and Miritin puts the lull in Lulber. Down he goes. There comes the next attack. Tai is in trouble too. Kalthas, you can run, but you can't hide, baby. And Tai will fall for sure.
Oh.
That's another 14 gems down the drain. Once that blade commits to the kill, boss is even up, but there it is. Mace comes in, Rutz is a little bit low too, gets locked down by the Howling Blast, but is able to move away. It's a disaster, and there's Syndragosa as Wit is going full on for the momentum swing. Thrall gets away though, and they realize it might be in a little bit too deep, trying to rush back now. Everybody's low on mana as well. Blade, Wit, Banana H, they have nothing, and Wit takes the bullet for the team. But Blade, Wit takes the bullet here for them. Blade is the one who tries to still jump out and collect some of those gems. They hold 35 now, but 7 kills against 2 in a level 10 on the board. Holy hell, this game is snowballing hard.
For sure. I mean, I really liked the attempt there initially with the Syndragosa as well. But obviously, as they don't get the kills, it's a bit greedy to keep going because they're all at 30% HP. But A for effort, boys. They managed to get out really safe. And now it's attack from the blue team coming in. Let's see if Lauber can turn the tides here.
I mean, a completely different question for you as a shot caller. When you guys are absolutely rocking the momentum in a game, right, with any team, doesn't matter, how hard is it to really keep the discipline that you don't overextend, that you really find that balance between you can pick up another kill but not overstepping to allow your opponent to turn it and maybe come back into the game?
Yeah, so it really depends on like many factors, right? Like depending on how you're scaling and like if you need to close the game early, if you want to try snowball, if you're looking for a talent here for the next objective, yada yada, right? So there's a lot of factors that come into mind here. But in general, like when you're ahead, you want to like outwave clear, put pressure on the map, and play Fog of War as much as possible, and just try to get pickoffs and keep working on keeping that talent here advantage and doing something with the talent here.
I mean, in this case, they don't have the talent advantage anymore. They're still a bit ahead, but it's more so the structural lead that they have. With the fort eliminated in the middle of the map, they could get earlier, but at least there's a bit of comeback potential now for Team Lauber. They're not going to make it easy for Team HasuObs. They're definitely fighting back here, destroying the wall a bit. The gems are still... there is an advantage for Hasu also on the gem count, that's definitely true. It's 35 gems against 63, so it's a fair amount that they still hold. Especially Blade, of course, wants to turn in since he's sitting at 33. He can't die. Yeah, jumps back out. Oh. It's literally a 5-man. He's 1v5 right now, has still the ult up, and is able to move away. But yeah, if he dies there, that would be a total disaster for them.
For sure. Something that we really have to keep in mind, right? Like, Team Lauber wants to one-shot closest target, right, with their composition. And we have Syndragosa on Arthas, which just makes him a super juicy target. If he doesn't get that ice band out, he's just dead, 100%.
Yeah. Fight coming in again. Here comes also once more Chromie's ult. Lauber is a bit in trouble, is able to get away. Quest completed for Chromie as Thrall commits to the Earthquake. But HasuObs is simply walking away with the rest of his team. They still have to deal with the Siege Giants as they camp pushing through the middle. It will have to be dealt with. I guess Kalthas is going to be the one taking care of it. The turn-ins, on the other hand, they're already starting to happen. The level 13 talent advantage is in play for the red team. They're starting to go in. Blade again with the 36 gems in his hand in trouble. Syndragosa comes out, tries to lock them down here. The Phoenix is on the ground. Lauber himself is low, but the Entomb dropped by Svamgrota locks them down once again. Blade is low and has to be careful. But they're zoning them again with Decker and Kane just coming in with one scroll after another. And now the turn-in opportunity as the minion wave with the camp in the middle of the map draws the attention of Team Lauber. They have to defend this. There's catapults already accumulating too. The wall is down and the web weavers will come down. Team HasuObs with another objective on this third map.
Yeah, I want to highlight real quick how they instantly rotated the top there just to make sure there's any chance of them being able to disrupt, as Team Lauber passed down to bot side to tap and so on, and they instantly reacted and moved all the way to top to get the pay in there, so they guaranteed a free pay here. Still even talent tiers though, most ultis on cooldown, so we're gonna see if there's a fight coming out.
Yeah, by now we have also quite a lot of damage on Chromie in particular. Hasn't died yet. 36,000 damage for her. Lauber again put into a corner, quite literally. Stukov helping out though and shutting down HasuObs as he was trying to go for the follow-up. The fort at the bottom of the map gonna fall 100%. Nobody there to defend. Quests completed for Arthurs as the red team is moving into the middle to escort the web weavers a little bit further. Bot lane fort about to fall, but they're not getting too much just yet. The defense is decent. Top lane has been defended. Middle of the map is also going to happen. Seems like all that's going to be accomplished by Team HasuObs is some damage top side and the bottom fort taken down. Unless they get a few kills, they will have to abandon the push here.
Yeah, they have two ways of playing this right now. Either you stay bot and try to siege the wall, or you go straight top as they are, you know, ready to defend the bot spider, and you try to snipe that. But since Leoric was up there already clearing a wave, they don't really have any pressure in time of the rotation coming in from Team Lauber, so not too much getting done there, but you keep the level lead up, and you almost have a pay again, right? So
Yeah.
completely fine.
I mean, they got 45 gems, 86 though for Team Lauber. I mean, the good thing for the blue team is they haven't really lost too many heroes after the initial problems that they had, so they still hold on to all of the gems here. And gems are always your ticket back into the game. If you fall behind with the talent but you don't lose heroes and hold on to the gems, the second you got the talent advantage again, or you're on even talents, you might be able to start just one turn in after another. But that's exactly what HasuObs is going to try and prevent with this team now. They're going to look for that kill and see if they can maybe take a few of these gems away. 29 have been delivered by now, on the other hand. And the range poke
really
from Chromie is
scary.
helping.
Yeah. The poke versus, like with Chromie here, is insane. Like, they kind of need to bait them up and take the fight, because if not, they're just gonna stall forever and they're gonna lose on HP, right? So either make the play or just smork, because Chromie is gonna stall this forever, like if they're not pressuring her.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, you can literally see Thrall just attempting over and over again to turn in. Finally, they're pushing them out to an extent where it might just work out for them, and there it is. Do they lose someone in the progress? No, instead they get the kill against Maiev. Nicely done, yeah, really well played. Svamgrota is out, 2 goes up against Wid, but even if he dies, he's going to be back so much faster. The push through the middle, they're trying to follow up with the second kill against Blade, and it seems like they're going to get him here. He doesn't have his ult up, and that's another kill. 5 against 7 kills, and that's fantastic for Lauber and his boys. They got the web weavers. They're already sitting in the middle with a 5 versus 3. That's a 4 down. Leo trying to progress, or to actually push out the bot lane a little bit further. But that's a
And now
great
it's gonna
twist.
snowball a lot in the favor of Team Lauber, right? Because they have another pay coming in after this, and they're gonna be able to pick up all the forts here, maybe more, and regain map control due to this. I think it was a bit of a split core there from Team Hasus, because they wanted to stall, but they were also close to 16, so they wanted to soak, and maybe the communication didn't come through there. Who had the stalls, so they got a bit too eager and managed to get caught. But nonetheless, Team Lauber is completely back into the game, even taking control of this game, and 20 is looking super scary. You have Thrall, you have Rewind on Muradin, you have Entomb on Leoric, so this is starting to look like a momentum swing and a game in favor of Team Lauber now.
Yeah, they're ahead in experience, even though it's by a really small margin, but they also have, in addition to that, now 3 forts taken down, so that's fantastic for them. And a really good spot all of a sudden. That last situation was so difficult for them to handle with the continuous interrupts in Chromie, but then they push it out, they get a double kill, they get the turn in, so everything just came together at the perfect moment in time. And they were even in a good position on the map itself, straight there in the middle where they could start the push. Boss is up, another turn possible for both of the teams. And, well, off we go. There's the fight again with even talents, but the Siege Giants have, of course, to be dealt with. There's at least the camp for Team HasuObs pushing through the middle that eventually they have to react to, too. But Ty gets the turn in. Ty makes it happen. He completes the turn in, and now we have another attempt to take a keep down by Team Lauber as they're gonna move through the map and go for the structures here. And for HasuObs and his boys, they have good heroes here, but this is definitely changing the dynamic of the game completely and turning it on its head.
Huge power spike right now with Chromie hitting her ultimate talent on level 18, way earlier than anybody else in the game. So we'll see how big of an impact that can have in the next fight. But hold up, a pick on Leoric comes through. Very nice. This might allow them to defend everything for free.
Yeah, Leo down, so only 4 men to push this. It's going to make it much easier for Team HasuObs. They're already trying to set that up. Gets a bit of poking against the Web Weaver. This one down at the bottom shouldn't really do too much. Top lane still not quite at the gate, so that gives them a bit more time. It opens up a window where they can defend. Rotation towards the middle, and you can already tell that the blue team is not really going for the Web Weaver push. They're looking for a pick, and they actually find it. They actually find the pick. They're falling back because it's only 4 heroes, but they're waiting for someone to overstep, and it's Svamgora who moves in with his Mive just a little bit towards the front and gets taken down here. Really nicely done. Actually, it was Skook. So, good kill. They needed a pick. They had a 4 versus 5, was the only play they could make, and they find it, and now they rotate quickly towards the top to take the boss. That was actually a fantastic setup from Lauber and a good execution as they find the opportunity.
So it's a bit unfortunate to see this, right? Because like first you get a pick off on the side of Hasu, which allows you to clear everything for free, right? Which is amazing, perfect. And then Team Lauber sticks around, makes a really nice play. A bit greedy for Skook there to stay around, right? Because you have no vision on the enemy team, and you're kind of expecting you to be safe as Maiev. Pick comes in, we have a 20 on the horizon with the boss, and this will be keep 100%. I'm not sure they can play for end here because of the new changes to core and everything, but that's a free keep. Actually, they're moving away though from top side. They're looking for mid keep instead. I'm surprised to see this, honestly.
I've seen it with if you have a minion wave to push, we've seen it a few times yesterday too, I feel, because you're trying to set up that two-prong attack, and they're gonna get 1 keep here for free, either the top or the middle. They get 1 more Flamesphere connected. There's the Syndragosa on the other hand. The Absolute Zero is in, and they're locking them down. It's time to freeze, baby. There's the shove into the back. Svamgora is already a bit in trouble, but he's able to move out, gets the heal as well. Lauber is in the middle of things here, but thanks to the rewind, he's getting out too, and that's actually double keep play. They got the one at the top too. HasuObs and his team, they made the decision to try and go for the fight, get a few kills in, but they couldn't lock anybody in, even with the Absolute Zero, to drop them. So now they abandoned the top lane defense and lost 2 keeps in the process. Insane position for Team Lauber now.
Another questionable decision though, since it's the same situation. Like, you already lost mid keep. Like, why not just protect the top keep and make sure you keep that alive? Because getting top keep is so much more valuable than getting mid keep, because you're mid is central on the map, right? It doesn't actually allow you to get split pressure because you're always going to be clearing mid. But if you're playing bot side and you have top keep down, there's actually a lot of split pressure later on with the catapults. So I'm really surprised them like opting into this fight rather than just saving top keep.
The attack again against Leo and Arthurs. I think this time they might just be able to move through here where Beavers are coming down. That's honestly the opportunity for Team Hasu. If they win this fight, that would be great. If they lose a hero, then of course it's a free defense and Wit goes down, and that's a problem. We're coming back to the point with Syndragosa. Obviously, if you have that, you don't have the army there. What do you think of the argument, actually, that if you have army against someone like Kel'Thas, the spread with the bombs might become a bit of a problem, that you don't get as much value out of your army? Because I think the argument can be made, but I still think that when it comes to survivability, it is, yeah, it's just so much better to just have the army in anyways. And
yeah, I mean, I guess it's super fine, right? Because he kind of picked the army like as they hit 10 to try get the pick off on top lane, right? To get another keep early, which fort early, that could have snowballed the game really hard for them. And Tomb.
Yeah, there it is. Buried Alive is in. If that's the kill, they get the lockdown, and there's that Kel'Thas gravity lapse again. Goodbye, Maiev. The defense is already through. The second kill, Chromie with the timeout. And the mace to the face. And the kill through Murden. And that has to be simply game. They keep alone. If they want it, it's gonna fall. But that's a 5 versus 3 situation on the map. And they're actually playing it safe. They're actually gonna go for the keep instead of trying to push the core. And they're even falling back here to take the camp first so that they can use that to push in through the middle.
I guess it's completely fine to play it this way as well, right? Because of the new core mechanics and everything. But I think if they just walk up, threaten core, play it slow, Thrall starts working it a little bit, Katie throws spells, you know, like, if they start dropping the shield, they're gonna be forced to make a move, and if they get an additional kill, then they will be able to end. But this is playing it safe, playing it smart, taking no risks, because they are winning the game right now anyway.
Yeah, Lauber with the zoning Stormbolt there. Once again, Keep is gone, and well, that has to be just a death push. I mean, my F is back another 2, so they don't have to. They can still play the
almost
safe.
have pay.
They have 44. So they are actually.
Your maths?
Huh?
How's your maths? Quick, crack maths right now.
8.
Okay.
Do I get a cookie?
So maybe they could have, if they had the crack maths there, like maybe they should have like focused on doing that, like staying around, getting 2 more waves, you know, to maybe before everybody's up on the side of Hasu, they could have secured the gems for another pay-in. But because now every wave is pushing in, right? So it can be pretty hard for them to get the final coins without getting a fight.
I can understand the thought process here. You know, they want to go for core, but then they look at the minimap and they realize that there's still a mercenary camp on the map. And if Quick Match tells us anything, then it's that you always have to go for the camps, right? So it's a logical decision to be made.
True. No, but I mean, it's so much easier for us with bird view, right? To make that call, and they're stressed, right, in this situation. But hold up, here's the fight, maybe?
Yeah, just poking a little bit. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, again, first of all, hindsight is always 20/20. And at the same time, if you have full map vision, that's obviously a huge advantage here. Rewind being used as Lauber tries to go for the engage again. Tries to cover here, Absolute Zero is in, and immediately the Earthquake plus also Muradin coming out with the Avatar. The problem is that my F is again low, and she gets taken apart since Khaldor gets the kill here. The Buried Life is out, they're looking for another one. Roots on the other hand on his floor is also low. Wit is coming in for the kill, but he himself dies. Chromie is also dead, the fake dragon eliminated. They go for Deckard Cain. That's going to be a full 5-man wipe, and the shields are already falling at the core. 50 gems in the hands of Blade, but there's absolutely no chance for him. There we go, 5-man team wipe, and they go for the core on the right side of the map. An easy finish at this point. 53,000 damage from Khaldor. The entire team apparently damaged.
And the B steps are coming in. The B dance to the core.
Big B steps. Big B steps.
And if I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen through my career of Heroes of the Storm such magnificent synergy coming in from the squad here. Team Lauber, synergized B steps, at least 37 clicks at the same time coming in there. Very synergized, very smooth, and that's just GG. Like, you can't do anything about that. There's no counterplay to that.
Game on, everybody! Battlefield of Eternity, map number 4. It's getting spicy now. 40 heroes already banned out as we're heading into the first map, and this is going to be good. Battlefield of Eternity, which of course also at the same time demands that you now take a closer look at Hanzo, since Vala has already been played. We've seen Greymane banned globally, Sergeant Hammer is banned globally, Reyna is not going to be available for this one anymore. So most of Li Ming is also banned, so most of the heroes that you're actually looking at that you want to play normally in Battlefield of Eternity to take the Immortal down are eliminated. While Quacknix has been gone for Little Ducks as far as I know. We're gonna head into the first few picks here. So first of all, the Zarya ban again. And as we said previously, Medivh will most likely for the entire series be banned out. They're not gonna allow HasuObs to just simply tilt the scales in his favor. So those two bans don't really come as a surprise, especially the setup with Zarya and Garrus is of course super powerful, so that's another one here. What we still need to also check out is what kind of frontliners are gonna be played, because Garrosh was banned very reliably. That could happen here again. A Nuburak banned first, but Garrosh is still open. Now again, there aren't really a lot of tanks around anymore, especially now that since Garrosh is banned too. So you have actually Stitches available, you have Varian available, you got Imperius, and that's it. That's pretty much the entire tank setup that they have here, unless you want to play Dehaka main tank or Artanis. So they really went pretty deep into the tank pool at this point, which is definitely going to have an influence also on what hero you're going to pick as your first pick. Because we talked about the damage dealers. Hanzo is one of the few that you really want to get here to burn the Immortal down, but they have to go into the main tank, and that's Imperius. The Imperius main tank is in. That doesn't leave a lot of options for Team Lauber at this point either. And I guess one of the two picks will be a damage dealer. If you want to think a little bit more outside of the box, then of course Lunara comes in as an option. We've actually seen Lunara also played from Quack himself. But with that little setup right now, Alarak comes in and Jaina. So they're abandoning the thought of going into an early tank completely. Some Grotta's Alarak, on the other hand, is pretty sweet. It could be played here now too. And the duck is back.
But I'm actually surprised. Like on the side of Lauber, like the bans are same as every game, right?
Yeah.
Good bans in general versus their team. Like Wit is famous for his garage, and obviously Haso's Medivh is not something they want to deal with. But I'm really surprised that they banned their noob here and left the Alarak open, because it's something that they show that they really want, and on BOE is probably by far the strongest map for Alarak.
Yeah. I'm also concerned about the front line now, because they have Stitches and Varian open. Those are pretty much the only ones, unless you want to go into something completely insane and play that Dehaka main tank again. I guess you could play Chen here as well, but the frontline pool is thinning a lot. And they also opted into Jaina over Hanzo, which I also found interesting. I mean, of course, if you want to go for that one-shot kill comp, then that could still work. But when it comes to the Immortal, they're definitely taking a backseat now.
Yeah, maybe we get some. Maybe they have thought it out already, and since they're gonna go triple melee here with the Alarak, having him in the 4-man, they might get like an Artanis, you know? It's game 4, so not unlikely, and that would give you the race on the map, while you have the insanely strong 4-man that just allows kill pressure whenever they walk up.
Look at these bans, literally just like ban out all the tanks now. Enubra, Garrosh, Chen, Varian, all of them is like, nope. They're really limiting the pool even more. I want to see so much what's going to happen here. Is it going to be the Stitches pick? That's pretty much the only question right now.
What about the Shogal Ariel here?
Yep, Shogal could also be the pick. It's absolutely true.
And you just sack Alarak to the side.
And
wait a minute.
Dehaka main
boring.
tank. Yeah. Lauber played it already once yesterday, the Dehaka main tank setup, and he has it again here. Karazim together with that.
I don't know how many options there was at this point, as you said, like, but I think it's a bit awkward, but maybe it was still like go to. If it was Alex the Pro G playing, it would have been an Artanis main tank for sure.
Now, they had Stitches. Stitches and Shogal were probably the best alternatives to what they just did here. Outside of that, you got nothing left with all the bans now. There's the Stitches pick. Stitches and Imperius, which also means when it comes, if it comes, to a 5th map, it's going to become even more wild. And there's the Zeratul last pick. Boys, it's Meta Madness indeed. Game number 4, Battlefield of Eternity. Let's go. Dehaka, main tank, Zeratul, Alarak. We got a Stitches, Lunara, and Imperius on the other side. Team HasuObs against Team Lauber. It could be the final map of the series. We're going to find out right now. The winner bracket final of Meta Madness here in Battlefield of Eternity. And we are ready. Game number 4. Lauber on the main tank, Dehaka, here in this 4th game. In the winner bracket final, we got Swamgrotta on Alarak, Tai on Zeratul, Rutzo on Jaina, Death Knight on Karazim. And over to the right side of the map, it's Skook on Hanzo, Blade on Imperius, Wit on Stitches, we have HasuObs on Lunara, and Banana H on Anduin. And I actually like what we see from Stitches here in particular. So he goes into his Devour stacks, which makes quite a lot of sense if you look at their setup here and the map. It's highly unlikely that you get a ton of globes together on this one. So good choice for them. And Quack, it's getting wild on this one.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not even sure who to give this to. Like, I think it's a lot easier for Team Lauber to play this game because they're pretty straightforward. They're just gonna fish with Alarak, right, and try to kill whoever they can catch, pretty much. And on the side of Hasu, they want to play it slow, poke, and make sure they do not get killed here. So we're gonna see how it plays out. But all things considered, like, even though the drafts are wild, they're both decent drafts onto the map, you know?
Yeah. What I'm actually a little bit worried about is the Immortal pressure from Team Hasu. Because they got the Hanzo, they have also Lunara, so when it ever comes to a point where you know you want to race a little bit, that should be an easy one for Team HasuObs. I mean, you got the Jaina on the other side, you got also Karazim, so it's not like they're hopeless, but there's definitely a bit of an advantage. Here's the burrow again. Lauber gets attacked, takes quite the beating here. But we have Alarak now top side together with Zeratul, so a 2-3 setup for them on the map for the blue team. Imperius plays it incredibly slow and just stalls the lane here so that he can safely take the experience, while the rest of the team goes for the camp at the bottom of the map now.
Like, obviously Imperius will have a winnable matchup whoever he plays into, but I'm a bit surprised that they opt into playing it like this rather than sticking with the 4-man bot side, because I think their 4-man has so much kill pressure bot, you know? Like, get to drag into hook on anybody with Jaina Monk follow up, that's insane. And yeah, like that backline isn't safe to walk up either as long as Alarak is holding his combo. So I would like them to play the 4-man into each other and look for kills like they are doing now.
No.
But I was just gonna say, the only thing they shouldn't do is go for Wit, because they don't have the damage to kill him. And they give space to the backline. But as long as they're looking for a combo onto a backliner and they find the CC chain, they're dead every time.
Yeah, I mean, later if you have a 7-sided, for example, then they might have a better chance of taking a Stitches down, but here it was just a turnaround and they get the kill there. Ooh, there's a nice one again. Okay, top side, still our 1 versus 1, and as the next Immortal is going to be, or the first Immortal is going to be announced soon, the teams are making the play for the Shaman camps. Obviously, as the game continues, we're just going to attempt to get himself some stacks on the level 1. Currently, he has wants that extra hit point regeneration, which could actually be really cool as well in the later stages of the game when you are trying to play that stall-out game on the Immortal. If you are able to take a bit of a beating from the front and then always just fall back a little bit and regenerate quickly, that would really help you there in the long run. But in the early game, it shouldn't make a big difference just yet. Down here. Cam gets deep push now slowly.
Okay.
There's the drag again, and Banana H with the save on Anduin. The hook. He gets the Devour through. That's the second stack for his level 1. And a bit of extra damage through the tower. So far, so good.
Khaldor, it just crossed my mind. What do you think about Ring of Frost VP here? Going old school.
I thought about it earlier, but I don't really know. Like, these days it's actually most of the time all about the might of the Narazim. And if you look at who's playing the hero, you know, if it was anyone else but Tai, I would say yes, do it. But I kind of have a hard time believing that Tai wouldn't try to make the plays with might of the Narazim here.
Fair enough.
Especially with the build that he's already going for, you know, so I thought about it.
Cool. He's going one shot, and there is a very squishy setup on the side of Hasu, right? So it's not bad by any means. It might be the better one. It's just I would love to see some wombo combo ready to place.
I mean, they have, if they play it, they have in addition to that also a 7-sided they could execute, right? Even if you divide it on multiple targets, that's extra damage that you dish out with it. There is a chance that they're going to play it, so they have wombo potential here for sure. But again, I mean, we'll see. But there is one-shot potential against Lunara, against Hanzo, so there's a lot they can do with it. Immortal has been taken, by the way, so Team HasuObs, they get the early one. They send it top side as they push the bottom of the map themselves. Level 7 is in with the splintered spear again. Traditional Talon on Europe, as I said, not that NA variation with the choke in Poland that you normally see there. Good! How good! Damn! Swamgrota could have moved out, but the hook gets him back into range, and that is not only a kill against Alarak, but also a destruction on the fort. I like it.
Yeah, Splinter Spear is very nice versus Monk or like any healer that can't really heal very well. So, and the way they need to play this game out, right, is like they want to poke, they want to play it slow. Just make sure they don't get like engaged on and blown up in 5 seconds, and Monk won't be able to deal with the poke that comes through from Hanzo and Lunara.
Yeah, there's another drag here against Wit, but now he has 5 stacks on the level 1, by the way. Zeratul is taken out top side as all of this rages on. So good kill from Blade, able to lock that in. That's the problem. If your solo laner dies, that is a huge blow against you. That could definitely cost them not only some experience, but also momentum up at the top. Especially since they can't even rotate anybody topside that quickly. They have the Haka, but that means that they're abandoning the bot lane a little bit. So this is going to be super annoying. Lauber's team is in tons of trouble right now. A good level 10 setup is going to be really important for them. They really need to pop off a little bit after they have their ults, because right now they're losing ground.
For sure. Dig is not available, but the play comes in.
Oh, and
good route.
There you see the problem a bit though. Lunara is so squishy. If Zeratul
Yep.
gets his hands on her later on, it's going to be difficult for Bambi to stay alive. After level
Yes.
13, she might have a bit of additional sustain against this, but right now it's going to be a huge problem if Ty is allowed to make his plays.
Yeah, especially with like Monk being able to always follow up, right? Because there's nothing that can stop Monk, so as long as he's in position, he will always be able to follow up, and they can pretty much one-shot one of these squishes here if they're synergized. Blade has a good setup here.
Yeah, holds that. Oh, Svamgrota again in trouble, and he goes down. Alarak eliminated. Wade is trying for another hook, but only short distance at this point, of course. He goes straight up for the aggression again, with Skog already trying to get his damage through. They're defending with the rest of the team, and Lunara and Hanzo are all that's needed to lock this one in. Very likely a second Immortal for them, especially with level 10 now in their hands, and Team Lauber has already moved topside to take the camp and at least get something on the map. But this is starting to become spicy. Oh, even the Wrath of Angerius is in. Light Bomb as well. Okay, we're ready for this one. This is going to be a big push
Wait,
topside.
So that level 10 from Blade is not the shield one, right?
Yeah, no, it's not the shield one.
Professional caster, by the way. Okay, good to know. I'm looking forward to see if he can make plays with this talent.
Yeah. I mean, we have, by the way, the question also answered if it's going to be the VP. And as much as we were probably both hoping for a bit of wombo action, it is instead the individual plays. The arrow comes in, the European arrow connects. Here comes the play with the ult, and Zeratul is down. Blade, I don't think it was really needed here, but he plays it safe. They take Zeratul down. That's a 4th eliminated. 5 kills against 0. And Team HasuObs is looking like a well-oiled machine, moving through the map in the attempt to break through the wall at their keep. Big damage coming in from them. Lunara still has her ult already. They could break through the wall and maybe even get a little bit more if another hook connects here. We should have the cooldown up in just a few seconds. Gets attacked though. They're trying to go for the counter, but Anduin is ready for it and pulls him back to safety. Still a little bit of setup over here.
Lunara got...
Lunara,
That was actually
baby!
quite unfortunate. Just as Zeratul blinked back, Lunara jumped on Zeratul and she got super isolated from her own team, and they get a quick kill on her. And XP wise, once again, we are kinda even though like most games have been looking like this, right? Like HasuObs teams have been doing really well in the early game, always getting the leads in the games, I feel like, but they have always been keeping up with the experience, only being one level, half a level behind, and then manage to like win one situation, get a pick off in the late game, and take control of the game. So, and it's looking like it might be the same case here.
Yeah. Thing is though that I really feel that the problem here is going to be structures eventually. Because the bottom fort is so exposed already, they should be able to take this one out too. And I don't know. I really like the setup. Also, the scaling into the late game is going to be nice. If you look towards Jaina, for example, she doesn't have a lot of damage towards her baseline talent yet. It's only 3,000, so it's going to take quite some time until he has the Ice Block available. That's another
and there we
problem.
could see the display as well of like the Alara combo onto a squishy. He literally did half HP himself, and that's what I was talking about earlier that I want to see from them. Like Alara combo on anybody that isn't Wit, and Blade, right? Like any of the squishy ones followed up by Monk and Zeratul is a one-shot every time. So I want to see them focus on doing that.
Yeah. 13 talents are now in. This is really where Lunara has a bit more safety thanks to the greater spell shield here. That's going to help her. And of course the threat level through Stitches is also increased by him having Fishing Hook available. So that's going to be nice. He's going to be able to get quite a bit done. But just look at how quickly they are murdering that Immortal HP. That thing is down on 50% in just absolutely no time. 13 versus 13 now. There's the big boy hook, the double leap and the kill. The arrow, ooh, straight up going over to North America. Arrow Cam catches all of it. High level production here at HGC, the Heroes Gaming Community. 6 kills against 1. They're trying to go for the follow-up. Water Elemental is out and gets burned away immediately. But what a setup again for Team HasuObs.
Yeah, but it's quite unfortunate, honestly. Like, they already gave up halftime, right, to get to 13. And then by the time that the Immortals were about to change, they need to group here and make sure to take the fight. Instead, fantastic hook comes in from Wit, and they get a pick off, and the Immortal is just free at this point. Let's see how much they can get, right, but... Ooh, nice hook attempt again.
Yeah, bottom of the map, that's where the Immortal is gonna push in. Zeratul looking for the rotational, see if he can maybe get someone, isolate him. Not so far. Skook was barely able to get away before he had time to connect. Down here on the other hand, that's where we now see the fort destroyed, and the question is just simply how far can they go on the keep? Can they maybe even get another kill, for example? And it seems like they're looking for one. Svampgrotta is in trouble, and wow, actually gets out here. The problem is that we have Lauber in the back. Lauber, the 7-sided Death Knight, both of them low. Karasim gets out. Lunara is dead. The blue team's still alive. They can't get the kill. Oh my god, they look like they would lose multiple ones. But then they turned it against the Swishy. To Lunara down. Nicely done, but they still lose a lot here. The wall is open. Another tower about to go down. 6 kills against 2. And they're just losing structural ground over and over again here on the map. They're being driven back right now. But it was a cool counter kill. And it prevented them from losing more than they did here.
Yeah, for sure. And there you could really see the like display of Zeratul, right? Like get on top of a squishy and just pop him.
Yeah.
And on
Svampgrotta.
16, it's gonna get a lot harder for the squishies as well. We'll see what Monk takes on 16, but he could take the ratatatata, you know, Smexy special, and literally synergize together with Monk to jump on top of a squishy at a given moment, and it's completely one shot if everything connects.
Yeah, yesterday we had it actually, we have 100 fists. This is always one of the things that I hated players for. Players can get away with like not knowing talents, calling everything, oh, his Q, his like W. And as a caster, you always need to know the names and stuff. So yeah, the ratatatata. I think I could get away with this one as well. But it would be cool to see that. We had it once yesterday. It's just funny when you have a good Monk follow up on everything with the extra damage. It's awesome. Well, talking 16s?
I mean, it should be the pick here, in my opinion anyways, right? Because there's not a whole lot to... I mean, sure you can cleanse Arrow, sure you can cleanse Light Bomb, but there's still like... I think this is the way to approach this game. You need to get on top of that backline, not giving them space, and like execute a quick kill. And just make sure that like you don't get hooked and picked off, which has been the main concern throughout the mid game, that they have managed to snipe those kills with a quick hook from Stitches. And the synergy here with the Lunara Wisp, right, and Hanzo Vision just enables them to get vision in what should be Fog of War, right, and just allowing those hooks to come through.
I got bad news, by the way. No in this game. Instead, we have the cleansing touch. So also great talent, of course, for him to have, but it would be nice to see some extra damage. Starts to hook the Shaman over. Top camp has to be defended against. And that's what the Haka comes into play with his global. Stitches for the cooldown reduction on 16 on the Devour to get a bit more value out of it. 10 stacks for him thus far. And they're trying to go for the Immortal again with the extra poke from Hanzo himself. But this is going to be one of the most important ones. And the camp topside is still pushing. So Lauber is needed. And the second he appears on the lane, that's the sign for Team HasuObs to go a little bit deeper onto enemy territory and get those shots connected from Hanzo, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Full on with the geometry. Still, I mean, poke against Stitches doesn't really matter all that much anymore. It's just simply because he also has the stacks. Jaina is low, very low. Tai also, both of them incredibly low. There's a potential kill against Blade, but he survives. They make their way out of this one. Puric Bite has been used. The big hook against Svampgrotta, and he gets crushed. And that's the moment when they go for the next objective.
So yeah, like once again, it comes down to them like understanding their win condition in this game. Like they need to get on top of backline here and synergize a like flank and collapse, because sitting around, staying in front, giving vision will just enable Team Hasu to play the way they need to play the way. Walk up, poke, try to get the ship down the Immortal, and just make sure they don't get popped like by an explosive play. And when Alara combo comes through on the front line, we see the hack on top lane, they're safe to move up and poke. They need to be decisive, they need to get their head straight right and just look to dive Hanzo.
Yeah, and now of course they're gonna try and do exactly that for the defense, and they need a kill and need it quickly. The keep is pretty much gone. If another kill comes through though, it might just be the end. The 7-sided didn't give them jack shit over here. Arrow comes out again. The light bomb on the other hand also not really too impactful. Tie is low, that's the problem. And the Immortal is starting to take down the keep as Jaina now also forced. HasuObs is still alive, moves away, a bit afraid of Zeratul following up on it, but he doesn't have to be worried about anything here. They have the 5 versus 4 on the map. The catapults are pushing in. Tie is trying to take them down as the attack is coming. The shields are falling. The hook on the other hand, it connects. And Death Knight is jumping out, but they're all low and the core is slowly falling. HasuObs is getting the revenge against Ty over here. He is dead, and that is game. We are going to a game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. They're still trying to hold on a little bit, but absolutely no chance over here. This is it. We are headed onto the final map of the winner bracket final here. The best of 5 series at Meta Madness. GG, and well played. Game number 5, everybody. Let's go. 50 heroes banned out before we even start with the draft. It is the final map in the winner bracket final. The winner moves on to the grand final. The loser drops into the lower bracket, and it's gonna get insanely wild. The insta-ban against the Lost Vikings, of course, against HasuObs. HasuObs and his boys, they chose the map. Cursed Hollow, big macro map. Vikings gets banned right away. Breaks the ban pattern that we've seen so far. Zarya gets still eliminated. And we are down to just a few choices. This could get incredibly wild, but there are a couple of picks that we expect to come through. Falstad has to be addressed, one of the few globals. We could even see a Sagara here. And of course, we still have technically a Nubarak and Garrosh open, who have been banned multiple times now. Might be the case that one of them makes it into the draft. Quark, what are we thinking at this point?
Oh, it's so spicy at this point. They even leave the Medivh up, because Swamp also plays the Medivh, right? So I wonder if Team Hasu wants to ban the Medivh, or if they feel safe, since they play the Medivh so much, if they feel, you know, safe to take the risk that if they first pick it, we're gonna play into it, or if they just opt into the ban here. But like, I'm curious, like, if I was any of these teams, like, depending on what my opponent plays, I would look for an aggressive Illidan, Anub, Genji, kind of like execute comp, just web anybody and smork, like turn your brain off, go forward. But as we mentioned, right, with the adaptation, Garrosh is up. Garrosh is the first pick. Good start for Team Lauber.
And that has to be Nubarak, right? I mean, at this point, you're so low on tanks. Both of them make it through the bans this time. Garrosh insta-locked. And for Hasu, that has to kind of be a Nubarak here. Falsa gets banned out, so that's the global already off the map. But yeah, we still have a couple of decent heroes here. There's the Noob and the Brightwing together with it.
Really solid so far as well, and like, this makes me so excited. I really hope they're watching the stream and hear me talk about their Illidan Genji here, because you also have the dive bomb with which is like, this used to be a meta thing, right?
Yeah.
With Brightwing Genji, if you can combo that well, and you also have the Anub to web somebody away, like, you can get a really advantageous fight.
Oh, Kerrigan and Chen. But yeah, back in the days when Brightwing was actually useful, now it takes 54 heroes to be banned out for her finally to become a choice, a viable one.
But like, what surprises me the most is, like, looking at this draft so far, right? Yeah. These games have a better drafts than what we saw on Towers of Doom, which was the second
It's actually true, yeah. They started with a lot of the meme heroes or the weird heroes already earlier and incorporated them in some of the draft. That's definitely true. But there's to run the ban now.
Wait, what? Like, this is okay. There's so many more picks that I even like thought about that are still up. Like, so far both drafts are looking really nice. Like, it's nothing crazy.
I mean, you go into the supports, what's left? You have Morales, Oriel, Whitemane, and Lily. That's pretty much it, you know? There's the Genji ban. Illidan is still up, so he could be picked.
It's also versus the Pandas, right? Like, sure, they have a lot of CC, but like, versus the triple Pandas, like, Battered Assault can be insane. Otherwise, what do you think about the Shugal pick here? Like, what if they literally just Shugal Aria? Like, sure, it's a bit int on the map.
I don't think you can do that. I mean, it's already over, right?
It's over? Look! Calling it! It's happening! They have to deny the Oriel as well.
With over, I meant that they're not going to go into it now. I didn't really think that they would pull it off as they already have this setup. But yeah, instead of banning the Anuburak, they pick him. Now we have Cho'Gall in here. And against the combo on the other side, that could definitely work out. So we have double trouble in play. There's the Suljin. Nice. Do we get Morales with this? Stim Jones Suljin?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they have to deny the Oriel.
They got to. But it would have been fun. I mean, nano boosted, sorry, not nano boosted. Stim drone Suljin would have been pretty fun here too. The Cho'Gall is in and the final pick. Suljin is in the game as well. God, I love this.
There's Sakara here as well, and they have like double global with Brightwing Sag, and then they play pickoffs and
the Lily! They go for the Lily! Lily Brightwing Cho'Gall, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting spicy. The final map in the best of 5. We got the Panda looking for a bit of adventure. We got some trolling on the side of the blue team. And we have Cho'Gall in play too. Cursed Hollow. Let's jump in without further ado. This is the final game of the winner bracket final. Game on, everybody! Team Lauber against Team HasuObs. We are on map number 5, and it is getting wild. Swam Grotta on Chen. We got Tai on Suljin. Lauber on Garo. Jutsu on Karrigan, and Death Knight is playing Oriel in this 5th and final game of the series. And it gets wild on the right side of the map here on Cursed Hollow. HasuObs is looking for adventure. He's playing Lily, Banana Age on Trashwing. We have Blade on Anuburak, Wit on Cho, and Scott on Gal. Let's go. Let's see who takes it here, Quack. But it is a wild draft, to be sure. Whitcock.
For sure.
Whitcock is our Cho'Gall.
Whitcock, yeah, that's a pretty nice name. Maybe this will make it into the Storm League after this game. But like, I honestly think Hasu's draft is so much better here once again. Like, we'll see how it plays out. But usually, like, Cho'Gall is actually insanely strong if you don't have tools to deal with him.
Yeah. Well, for now, we have Cho'Gall thrown around a little bit, but absolutely agree with you. I mean, NA had Cho'Gall in Division S for meta for quite some time, which was a little bit memey, but they are definitely a lot of strengths to the hero, and we don't have a lot of percentage damage tools against him any longer. And in addition to that, you now have the blind, you have the polymorph, you have the cocoon and the stuns that are coming from the remaining 3 heroes that are being played here, and that will offer a lot of safety for Cho'Gall in these fights. And Gal in particular does some insane damage as the game continues. Even going into a beetle setup on level 1 for Anuburak, by the way. The Legion of Beetles is in.
Yeah, and this is what they have to try, like, work on and get where they need to get an advantage. Advantage is the laning phase, right? Like, they have a lot stronger laning phase with like Kerrigan into the Anub, and obviously Shen, who is a dedicated side laner who already dominates most matchups. This is where they have to try to do something, get a lead, and be explosive pre-10 in my opinion, because I think the longer the game goes, Cho'Gall will 1v9 this game.
Yeah, as in the late game, the hero is absolutely insane. That's definitely true. And I'm a little bit worried because the problem is that when you're going up against Cho'Gall, you need coordinated damage, right? You really want to put the damage on the single target, coordinate that well, communicate it. And they have the tools to pull it off, but then you have to account for all the other heroes that are currently here. And that means Cocoon, stuns from Anuburak, the Polymorph, Lily's blinds. So the rest of the team is just simply going to try and protect Cho'Gall when he attempts to make these plays. And it will be pretty difficult to actually play around all of that. So I'm not quite sure if they really can make that play quite easily. But in terms of the talents, we even have now the Dream Shot again on level 4. Brightwing obviously got a little bit buffed in the last patch as well. A lot of heroes just with small adjustments here. And in the meantime, as we're having this quick technical issue here, once again on the side of Team Lauber, Blade topside already with that Beetle build. But they go for the camps right now. And this is another one of these setups. What do you actually think for the camp timings in general? I mean, normally we see the Siege Giants just taken when the tribute spawns on the other side of the map. But it feels like lately the teams don't really care about the timing on that as much anymore.
Yeah, I think like in general, like it has been very uncoordinated. Like people kind of just autopilot camps in general from competitive, what I've seen so far. That like you just kind of take them off cooldown, it feels like. But if you put some thought into it, like especially if you have in mind that you want to maybe give up the first objective, you could even wait with both your hard and easy, right? And try to set up a play that will allow you to get something on the side and not just capping it and both teams just clears for free, right? But especially what I want to see here is the easy camp being capped by Team Haso for the objective, because you have the Brightwing, which is the global as well. So you can really force, if you cap it during the objective phase, you can really force Shen to be stuck on bot side clearing it, or they will lose so much.
Exactly. And I mean, Hasu takes it now, so he clears it. I'm not quite sure if he's going to take it immediately, but it's already, for me, interesting that the first camp that was taken by the blue team was the Bruiser camp, because if you take the Siege Giant camps now for them with the objective, it just means that the Siege Giants are pushing through the top lane as Team HasuObs is taking position there likely anyways, because they're going to try and fight for the first tribute a little bit. And that always makes it a little bit awkward and makes it easy to clear the camp out. But we have seen good coordination on the camps in the past, but as you said, sometimes it's just you go into the game and it feels a little bit like autopilot, and that the teams don't think they get enough of an advantage out of it. But let's see if Hasu actually caps it right away, or if it waits it out a bit. Problem is that Cho'Gall is currently the only one in the mid lane trying to deal with this push, so someone else needs to help out.
So the timing is gonna be pretty good regardless. I would have liked to see the tribute not being popped instantly, right? Just so we could see if Hasu would have waited. But now the camp is gonna be fine. Could have even waited a little bit, but as we're gonna see now, like Brightwing will pressure with that. Shen is forced to stay and clear, which allows Team Hasu to commit for this tribute and maybe even TP up without losing anything on bot side and take a 5 versus 4. I mean 4 versus 4. Because Cho'Gall, you know.
Okay, tribute up. And bot lane, that's where Swamgrota is still sitting there. But now, of course, the jump towards the top can always happen. Kerrigan is already looking to get out here. Gets locked down for just a moment by a blade, but they're playing around with Hasu, attempting to channel it. That's one of the weird things when you have Cho'Gall. You only have, of course, like 4 bodies, or in this case 3, in the main for the channel, as he said. So that might make things a little bit more harder when you're actually trying to channel it. But you have just that power of that double. Good body blocking, by the way, as we're talking about it top side. Getting extra damage in against Cho'Gall. But they will still interrupt it for a long time, as it seems. Fountains are up, they're simply tapping. We have the level 7 talents now also popping in. And together with that, we now have the double trouble on level 7 for Gal and Cho with a fire starter here. Brightwing still at the bottom of the map, so they are playing this with only Lilia as their heal so far. Wilson's coming in again from the side, from the top, is jumping in with Kerrigan, gets locked down, the stun against Cho'Gall. Brightwing so far not jumping in. There it is. There it is. The phase shift. Tai is low. Gets immediately attacked. And that's Suljin retreating. And he really has to, because he's starting to fall super low. Oh my god. The surround on Kerrigan pretty much. And the follow-up kill against Lauber as Nubarak dives over and takes him apart. That's 2 kills for them. Shen, of course, was missing during the entire encounter. He was attempting to use the time that he had alone on the lane at the bottom of the map to get some damage in against the tower over here in the wall. But that's already a lead in experience, in kills, and the first tribute in the hands of Team HasuObs.
For sure. And what is important here is that they actually got 2 kills with that Brightwing TP, because otherwise XP would have been completely fine just by Shen denying a full wave, if not even more, right? So what I was talking about, which I would have liked to see from Team Hasu, is like literally use the easy camp just to get priority on a wave. So you push it out like before Shen can start putting pressure on bot side, and then you TP him for the 5 versus 4, so you won't even lose anything on the other side of the map if you can execute the fast fight.
Again, the pressure at the top, but the double support keeps it in play. Lauber is a bit low. Here comes Tai as he tries to get the damage in too. Stacking on the Arcanite Axis on level 7 now. We have our bot lane fight between Nubarak and Chen. Now that the 5-minute mark has passed, we of course also have the bosses up on the map on both sides. But there is still...
Again.
Sorry,
we have the same situation here again, right? Like Banana is gonna stay top with the global pressuring there, and since Kerrigan is showing, I want them to catch this wave and then look for an aggressive 5 versus 4 before Kerrigan can even rotate in time. But it looks like they're gonna give this one.
Yeah, bottom of the map. I mean, it spawns towards the left side, and honestly, level 10, once they have it, like, Cho'Gall scales incredibly well into the late game. so they don't have to take these early fights. But I like the reaction here from Team Lauber, actually going for a bit more of an aggressive push here, trying to take their own boss that hasn't been sniffed out yet. Blade is actually the one double checking, and he comes in, finds it, and just in time, the rest of the team is already rotating over, so they have to abandon this. So that's time lost for Team Lauber. That's actually really nice that Blade sniffed that out and the team called it, because if that gets locked in, that would be horrible. We've seen it multiple times in the tournament now, that the team just simply moves over to the boss, tries to simply snipe it away, and when it works, it's great. But in this case, of course, it's lost time for you.
For sure, because otherwise they could have just set up double camp for themselves, which would again be good pressure during the objective. But not anything specific happening really.
Yeah, we have top cake plays though. Chen is going for the top cake plays in this one. I like it. Gonna try and kick him out over here, I suppose. Also Oriel with the Aegis. Here comes Svamgrotta already. As well, the entire team is ready. And Nubarak is moving in now too. Has the cocoon, of course. Guillotine even for the troll. They're really trying to get the hits now. Here comes the Nether, not connecting with too much. Gets at least one hit in against Svamgrotta. They're trying to go for the triple, but at the same time, they are jumping in again. Aegis already used against Carrigan. And the heals. Kegplay not really doing too much for them here. But Lily, of course, keeping the boys and girls in play as the Ultralisk is about to be taken out too. It's a choke point that Team Lauber has to funnel into right now, and that's never really a good position to be in if your opponent has some decent AoE. It's not like we have Gul'dan or Kel'Thas over here, but Gal alone does already a lot. The guillotine against Hasu only interrupts him, didn't do a lot of damage, and they will have to yield the tribute here, which is the second one for Team HasuObs. Already some problems for Team Lauber to break through this setup.
Yeah, for sure, and that's gonna be the main concern here, in my opinion, that like it's pretty hard to execute a fast fight. Hold on, they got a pick on Shogal actually.
Yeah, I had it on camera. I mean, he went a little bit too deep, and then the problem is that he ran into Garrosh and he threw him even further. So that changes the momentum slightly, because now there's no way that Team Hasu can stop Team Lauber from getting the boss. But yeah, they need to be careful with that. He went a bit too deep on this one.
Yeah, but what I was gonna get to is that like Team Hasu will out-sustain, and in my opinion they're out-scaling as well, right? So we need to execute fights, because Ariel will struggle to keep up with the double support healing here, because she doesn't really have an enabler, right? A battery. So it's gonna be pretty hard to keep up with the heals here. So we'll see how the fights go down.
Level lead now for Team Lauber. Blue team with Carrigan and the Chrysalis. They're trying to go for Nubarak. Taunt didn't connect here. Kek plays again as they're trying to go for the Beetle. Blade is low. Hasu with the heals though. Lily coming in and throwing her little temper tantrum as they're going in. Good damage against Carrigan now. Roots needs to be careful. Another attack against Lauber. He's low too. They're trying to go for the kill. He might just be able to get him. Carrigan is also low in the back. The entire blue team is in trouble. Shen is getting locked down. Oh, maybe not. He's able to throw out. Guillotine comes in. What a chaotic fight. And the boss is pushing through all of that at the bottom of the map and takes the fort down. But this fight is all over the place. And that's with a talent disadvantage. That's with Team HasuObs not having access to the level 13 talent. And they still more or less take the fight and get the third tribute because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised you even understood half of what was going on there. Like, to me, it's just looking like a fiesta.
I mean, it's game 5, right? Isn't that literally the title?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It just felt like everybody was on top of everybody. I had no idea what was happening. Low HP bars flying left, right, and center. Nobody dying. Like, what is going on?
Well, now Brightwing pushing the bottom of the map. Everybody else is still sitting topside. Tai and Oriel defending as much as they can. Lauber, on the other hand, plays it off in the middle against Shogal. Whitcock is still here. The curse is hitting hard now. And all of a sudden, we have HasuObs back in experience, pretty much. They're, of course, going to take the structures here, too. Topside. Yeah, the Siege Giants are really helping at this point. I mean, they are absolutely fantastic here for them. Could have lost maybe another fort if not for that. Brightwing has also moved back. Also solid defense, honestly. They lost the fort in the middle, but that could have been so much worse for the blue team.
Yeah, Like also a bit interesting approach, right? To like just be mirroring 2 versus 2 in most lanes, like instead of just like grouping somewhere, getting the fort for free, pushing that lane in far, forcing one of, you know, Team Lauber's resources to be far away from where you move next. So you always play with mana advantage.
That's a stun. Lauber going for the twisting nether again. They're trying to get the kill here. Ultralisk is already taken out. The ult is gone, but there it is. That 13 talent. Having the Molten Block available is just so good. Lily, on the other hand, well, she was looking for adventure and she found one, I think. Goes down. Sul'jin takes her. And they might want to make the play for the boss right now. Well, first of all, they're going to try and make the play for an Uburak. I'm not quite sure if that works out. Here comes Kerrigan. Oh, the Chrysalis. But Rutsu might still die. Oriel gets the heal in. And that's the Uburak eliminated. 16 against 14 now. 4 kills against 2. Team Lauber. Damn, son. All of a sudden, they're starting to crush here.
But I honestly feel like this has been the story of the entire series, right? Like, Team Hasu trying to get a little bit more than they can instead of like securing their leads, working on their leads. They're greeding and they're not getting rewarded, as Team Lauber is doing really well in making sure they're always soaking. Even though they're losing, they're making sure that they're staying even by like responding correctly. And this has been the story throughout every game, in my opinion, and then they always manage to find this opportunity where they get ahead into the mid-late game. So this is looking, once again, like it's swinging in Lauber's favor.
Yeah, they are 1.5 levels ahead. They have the talent advantage. Now, saving grace for Team Hasu is that they only have 1 tribute now, so which means that this is not going to curse them. So it's not going to become that big of an issue now. There is still the potential to come back into this. And we talked about the scaling a bit that especially Cho'Gall has. I mean, the Molten Block alone as a level 13 talent already gives you so much safety here. Having your own Ice Block available. 16 versus 16 now. That gives us the Hush. We also have the Runic feedback. Yeah, they're trying to go for him. Can't get him though. In addition to that, the Deafening Blast. 2 tributes against 0. But, again, it's still manageable as long as you try and take these fights. The problem is, of course, if you allow for too much time to pass, then the blue team will also look towards level 20 and a Storm Talent advantage. And that would probably seal the deal here. But for now, HasuObs and his boys have the chance to fight. And Boss is, by the way, up at the bottom of the map.
He looks Vampirota, he has to keg, he should be completely safe here. That's being calm and collected. Like, imagine game 5, 2-2 in a series, and you're closing in on 20, you're closing on Curse, and you casually queue out instead of even using your barrel. Nerves of steel.
Yeah, definitely. No cooldown wasted, no problem. Next tribute is coming up. Brightwing is doing what Brightwing should do here, staying on the side lane to get the extra experience and attempting to catch up slowly but steadily in XP, pushing this out also as the Siege Giants are moving in. They're trying to go for Garrosh. Molten Block already used to counter most of this here. They're trying to go for Kerrigan again. Chrysalis as an answer. Brightwing starting to move in now. The ult is over. Here comes the Keg once more. They go for Banana H and Brightwing is dead. Dead on arrival pretty much as they are moving in. Blade is a bit low too, but they still get a couple of stuns out. The attack on Cho'Gall right away, but the rest of the team is already getting a little bit low, and the Aegis is getting popped to save Roots, so Kerrigan is still alive. The problem is that Cho'Gall is already low, and he might die here, gets pushed out, gets the whip to the face, and the axe right after that as the follow-up. He wanted axe and he got axe. Cho'Gall down, Brightwing eliminated. 7 kills against 2. The team is cursed. The momentum train is hitting hard. Here comes the Choo-Choo as they're going for it. They go for Lauber now as well. He's trying to escape here, or Blade. And he goes down too. A Nubarak eliminated. Lily, the only one still remaining, is trying to defend the top. What an absolute massacre in that last fight. And Team Lauber on their way to potential victory.
Yeah, this should be game. Whether they core straight up here or just fall back on their boss. Like if they can get bot keep. Okay, it looks like they're going for end, right? But otherwise, you could literally just take bot keep, take your boss. You have 20 with the boss pushing up, and it's just game. But it looks like they're making the faster play to victory.
Yeah.
Smork core.
Lily down. They're going for Banana H. Core at 50. Rust is back and they defend here. The Keg is in. They create the space. And this is game, ladies and gentlemen. Team Lauber moving on to the grand final as Team HasuObs drops down into the losers bracket.